we have here is green chili, New Mexico green chili, chicken enchiladas, and eggs and tortillas and all that. So,
wow.
You're always welcome to enjoy your breakfast. That's what Typewriter Club is all about.
That's right. We can eat together virtually.
All right, so we are live. Oh.
Now, can you pronounce his first name, Bernardo's first name? Gregory?
Wow.
Yeah, there you go. Yes, pretty close. Is that close, Bernardo?
That's pretty close. Good morning.
Yeah.
Good morning. Hey, Richard.
Excellent.
Hey.
I've been practicing it. Oh. And how are you doing, Joel?
I'm doing fine, thank you.
Good, good. Excellent.
Not too cold. A little bit of rain.
Yeah.
Don't know if we're talking about the weather today.
We're always talking about the weather.
It was
all right, so
kind of
we
the
do
theme
have
last week.
Talking about the weather is an icebreaker.
Oh, yeah.
It's a thing here right now in Virginia.
That's a bad show.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I've got snow outside.
Oh, yeah.
Me too.
Pouring down inside.
Welcome, Richard. Welcome back.
Thanks. Yeah, I meant to come the last couple of weeks and then it slipped my mind. So
That's okay. That's okay. No, nobody is required to attend every episode, so.
Except you.
Well, I guess that's true, isn't it? It'd be funny if I started the stream and just wasn't on it. I wonder how that would run. Probably not well, but that's okay. So since we do have a couple of new faces, I'll start with Angela Leffel. Am I pronouncing that right?
Leffel.
Leffel? Okay.
Only the rich relatives out west try to make it sound French.
Very good. So if you just want to briefly tell us about yourself.
I live in Virginia and I like to write short fiction. I don't know how many typewriters I've lost count and haven't counted, but over 20 probably. So I just found I don't know where I saw the post about this group, typewriter groups on Facebook. So I'm excited to start doing this. I haven't written anything yet because I just saw the link.
No, that's okay. That's okay.
I look forward to writing.
Yeah. We just appreciate that you're here. So very good. Thank you. And Lynn, welcome.
Hi.
You want to tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, well, I got into typewriters about a year ago with Free Selectric that I fixed up using a lot of online YouTube video stuff. And then I decided it was too noisy, so I'd go in and try a manual. So I got a Hermes 3000 just before Christmas. Now I've got 6 or 7 typewriters. I say I'm an enthusiast. I'm not a collector.
Yeah,
I'm trying to not be a collector. But I ran into this group because I was trolling around trying to find escapement. I have an escapement issue with a new, which is basically a torpedo. And it's a senior writer that I got from the Netherlands for pretty cheap, but it doesn't really work that well. So I haven't been able to find any good videos that show how an escapement on a torpedo works, which is different than the other escapement videos I've been able to see, because it's like there's no plates that move back and forth quite the same way, and it also has like a backspace key that isn't connected up.
Oh,
so that's kind of a wild guess what's missing there, but
just don't make any mistakes and you'll be okay.
Sounds like you needed another torpedo to compare against.
I don't, well, or somebody, maybe take it to somebody who knows what they're doing. But,
Ted, you're enabling her.
Oh, that's been said. I'm an enabler.
Yeah. I also do poetry and
Ooh.
have a letterpress. So I have a Vandercook
Oh, Vandercook.
basement. So
Nice.
my analog wanting to put words on paper is sort of
Now, do you have a whole bunch of type?
background.
Do you have a whole bunch of type and some chases and stuff that you
Yeah, it's a process. It's really a heavy hobby.
Yeah.
So,
I used to be a pressman, so I know all about that sort of thing.
yeah, and type is expensive. I've lucked into some really interesting things. But yeah, I don't have a great collection. I have kind of standard where I can do some chapbooks and stuff.
Yeah, it's tough. There's I used to know back in the day. I used to know a lady who had her big Chapman Price in her garage, and her entire garage was just full of banks of type that she didn't use. She used the thing to do binding and die cutting, and she just had no use for the type. And eventually, she just scrapped it all. It was very sad. I was very sad about that.
Yeah.
But
it's typewriters. I can see how you can catch a bug kind of thing with it and get. I worry about myself just a month in.
You have every right to worry.
There's a lot to be worried about.
Beyond your dragons.
I really appreciated Joe's YouTube videos. They're very helpful, and I don't know if there's any others that I've. Fellow in Phoenix guy got me through the Selectric.
Yeah.
Phoenix Typewriter, yeah.
Dwayne Jensen. That's his name.
Dwayne, yeah.
Yes.
Dwayne here.
That's trial by fire, getting into typewriters by fixing a Selectric. I'm impressed.
I know, right?
It was an awesome process because all of the like cushioning and kind of plasticky stuff was degrading, so it was and then to see how complicated that thing is, it's really amazing it even works.
Yeah,
but I got it working.
Wow,
excellent.
Yeah I do have
Phoenix Typewriter here. Good day.
Yeah.
He's supposed to be here at some point.
Yeah, I hope so.
Yeah. Maybe today is the day. We don't know.
Maybe we will see.
Yeah, I do have my eye on well, not a specific one, but I kind of like the Selectric ones. I just like the look of them a little better than the two and three. Yeah, someone was recently showing, I think, a blue one, and I think it had even blue keys. Like
it had the onyx blue keys. You're talking about the darker blue?
Yes.
Yeah. That's a nice machine. They're
oh my goodness,
uncommon.
Yeah. But we'll see. I mean, obviously I have plenty of typewriters, but I think at last count I had nearly 40. Well, it'd be 36 now because a couple weeks ago I gave Bob Marshall 4. So yeah. So we also have John here.
Never
Hello,
trust
John.
That Bob guy.
Yeah. And Brian, how are you doing?
I'm just peachy.
Excellent. And then we also have Indro. He's probably preparing for dinner. He is. And then Bob Marshall. Yeah, so quite a few people. That is excellent. And today, so I just had this inspiration this week because we had been doing themes, and I felt like those were kind of drying up a little bit. So I stole an idea from our good friend Joe Van Cleve with his with his typing assignments, and I decided we could do typing prompts. So nothing as fancy as his typing assignments, and I hope he gets back to those because they're pretty amazing, and he puts them together very well. So be sure and check out those videos if you haven't. but we're doing it on a smaller scale here. And so this week's typing prompt is writing a letter to your future self. So personally, I used this typewriter right back here, the SM3, I believe from 1957. And it's kind of silly, but I like using this drawing paper to type on. It's 6x9.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a good size for kind of brief letters. So it also goes without saying that I wrote a brief letter to myself.
There you go.
Yeah. So I guess I could just perhaps jump right into mine, or if someone else has theirs. And part of this is if you don't feel comfortable reading it, you don't have to. If you just want to show it on camera, or even if you just want to talk about it, it's all good. The point was just to get people writing with their typewriters. So hopefully you were able to do that. And if not, that's okay too.
It better be, because I didn't.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. You're busy making
Feats.
Yeah,
Feats. Lots of
SM3
feats.
face feet. So that's going to be cool. Well, I guess first, before I get into mine, because I'm very curious. What? Oh no!
You've never seen the Blue Bomber?
Oh, I guess not. You're making me so jealous right now.
Is that a Selectric One?
Yep.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful.
The Model 71, as they call it?
72. It's
72.
721.
720.
Okay.
So it's
Interesting.
cloth ribbon, 11-inch, accent blue keys, and a two-tone blue paint job. So
nice.
I got a little crazy with it.
Very
This thing's
good.
heavy.
So before, I think it was before we went live, you had teased about playing What's in the Case.
Oh yeah, that's you have to guess what's in this case right here.
Any guesses?
A typewriter?
It's
Yeah.
very small. I'll let you know that much. So the
Portable
options are
typewriter.
limited.
Oh,
It's a
yeah.
Tom Thumb toy typewriter? No, I don't think so.
Not
It's
quite
about-
that small.
A hand big that way. So
Oh,
Huh. Is it a
Based-
shorthand typewriter?
nope.
No. Okay.
It's an evil devious trick that I did to you.
Ah.
It's a
What
homemade
is it?
case.
Okay.
It's an Underwood 3-bank.
Very
oh.
But it
good.
just happens to be just small enough to fit inside of a drink case. So it's a portable pub.
Very nice. Very nice. I don't
That's
think we ever would have guessed.
I barely gave you enough clues, so that is,
I know. Huh?
And there's no room for your vodka tonics and all that in there, is there?
No, I have to use a different suitcase for that.
Yep.
Anywho,
Okay.
so there you go. That was my show and tell,
Very good. Very good.
and I'm on the wrong program for that apparently.
was great.
No, see things like that, like show and tell and stuff. Those are always going to be a part of every episode, because somebody always has a story to tell or something to show, so it's always welcome.
Excellent. Well, there we go.
Yes. Yes.
Someone else go now.
Did anybody else have anything they want to show?
Oh, let's see. I guess I could show this. This is just part of the letter that I was writing to you, Gregory, on the Casio Writer thermal typewriter, and I'll just try to focus here on. You can see, maybe you can't, but the darker part down here is where the ribbon, the actual carbon film ribbon is, and the other part is the thermal part. So it does make. I know I'm overexposed right now. Also, let me try to drop the iris down there.
There we go. There we go.
Yeah. So yeah, you can see how the carbon film definitely prints better than just thermal only, right? So some of these thermal typewriters work pretty well as on thermal paper, but some of them, like the Casio writers, really like to use the carbon film ribbon. And I found out that the Canon Typestar cartridges will work in the Casio writer. So anyway, that's part of the letter that you're going to get here.
Very good. Excellent. Yeah, I did notice
Joe,
that.
I'm sorry,
Okay,
Joe,
go ahead.
would that cartridge work vice versa? Would a Casio work in a?
I think so. I think it should work. Yeah, if it works in one, it should work in the other. Yeah.
Yeah, I did notice that the CW16. Well, I was using it on that EKG thermal paper.
Yeah.
And it seemed considerably darker than the CW10, but I don't know if that's just due to the paper.
It might be they made it darker. Maybe that model, they made it with more thermal current in the print head, so it gets hotter or something like that. Who knows?
Yeah.
And they may have also had problems. Maybe the earlier ones, maybe the carbon film didn't adhere properly to the paper, and so maybe they had to increase the current to the head, the print head, and which makes it darker on thermal paper also. So who knows?
Okay.
There could have been some engineering reason why the later one works better.
Yeah. But other than that, any changes that they made were actually worse than the CW10. So
yeah, exactly. Yeah, what Gregory and I were talking about was there's two print modes in these thermal typewriters. There is the direct print mode. Every time it prints a character, the print head goes forward or backward, prints it, and then it kind of recycles itself. So when you're typing, it goes, it's really loud and obnoxious. And then the other printing mode is a line printing mode. You basically print the entire line in the LCD screen, and then when you hit a carriage return, it prints it out. So it's a little less obnoxious.
Yeah. But still obnoxious.
It's still obnoxious. Yeah.
I wonder what preceded the other. Would there have been thermal paper before the actual thermal typewriter, or?
That's a great question. The history of thermal paper is something that I don't know. Did it start with fax machines and then go to, thermal typewriters? The thermal typewriters, of course, were only a few years, right, in the early to mid 1980s, I think. So, but yeah, it's a good question. I don't know. And of course, it's still, thermal paper is still being used, of course, every day when you go to a retail situation, you get a receipt that's on thermal paper. And this is thermal EKG paper. This is thermal EKG paper that Gregory sent me. Of course, we're doing black and white now because we're trendy, but focus here. Yeah, but so there is new thermal paper available. But yeah. I don't know the history of it. That's a very good question.
Actually, it's funny because when I got this Panasonic here, and I looked through all the manual, nothing mentions anything about thermal typing. So my guess is that,
yeah, they were primarily intended to use their cartridges. And I think the thermal typing thing was just an afterthought, or somebody discovered it or whatever. I guess fax machines were using thermal paper back then already. So, yeah.
The secret's out.
Yeah.
Yes, right. Anyways.
All right. Anyone else have anything? Oh, welcome, Dan. How are you?
Oh, I'm a little under the weather today, but otherwise okay.
Oh.
That's okay. I'm not going to miss this. We're dealing with a pretty substantial blizzard right now outside in southeast, and I think the whole Midwest, upper Midwest, is dealing with it too. We've got almost 5-foot drifts outside.
Oh wow!
So it's going to be interesting trying to get out of the garage tonight.
Yeah.
Hopefully the snow stops.
Yeah.
But I hope everyone's well.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Good to see you, Dan. I wouldn't mind sharing.
Okay. Well,
I
just wanted to say hi to Bill real quick.
There he
Hey,
is.
Bill.
How are you, Bill?
Good morning.
Good
I'm
morning.
fine. How's everybody else?
Very good. Very good. Welcome.
Good to see you all as always.
Good to see you. And Indro, did I say hi to you? Okay. Oh yeah, you were cooking. Yes. Yes. Very good. Very good. All right, Bob, you have the floor.
Oh, thank you. I don't know if any of you had noticed last week, I put a video up, but about a year ago, a friend of mine contacted me and said, I need this. I said, well, you make it like this. And they went, well, that's too hard. I said, well, let me make you one. So it's this. I'm going to focus, see if I can get y'all to focus in on this.
The speedy spooler.
The speedy spooler, yes. So if you haven't seen it, so I just went ahead and threw together, 20 or 30 of them, and I've sold a few of them. I got them up on eBay, and then of course I've got an instructional video on YouTube on how it works. But moving between spools or reels of ribbon has always been an issue for me. So I was fortunate enough to put this together, and the problem, of course, is different types of reels that we have. But anyways, it just pops on as such, and then you put the large washer on and go like that, right? And you get that going in the drill, and it's nice to have a little bit of drommeter there to grab in the drill chuck. And then this one also has this attachment. I don't know if you can see that, but that's a nice, let me get it. That's a nice beveled washer, and it's really big. It's really hard to find. That one you can't get at a hardware store. But if I go through all my stuff here, and that one specifically for the collars. So I can take a nice collared, and then I can spool up on the drill that. So anywho, nice. I just threw this tool together, with my handy dandy funny little machine shop that I have here at the house. And that
That's
works
very
really
cool.
well.
Yeah,
So
that's
yeah,
very cool, Bob. Very cool.
I like
Thanks.
that.
I appreciate it.
Yeah.
I just had made a few for friends, and I thought this is ridiculous. So a few of them have sold already, but I'm real excited to offer this to the community. But yeah, I've got it up on eBay, and I've got a video on YouTube, on instructional video on how it works.
What's your YouTube channel?
Yeah.
Oh, Bob, Bob, what's your YouTube channel name?
Oh, I'm sorry. Typewriter Muse. Yeah. M-U-S-E.
Yes.
Bob, what do you use to hold your main spool that you're feeding off of?
Oh, so believe it or not, a lot of people are just running ribbon off of the plastic spools. So I kind of show in the video how to just grab it with a screwdriver, give it a little back tension with the thumb. But other than that, I use the actual boxes. I use the boxes that the ribbon came in, and I got this one from May, and then I stick a toilet paper tube in here, and that holds it, and then the ribbon pops out here. Of course, it's in plastic right now, so it doesn't dry out. But that's how I feed off of the large spools I get from Baco.
Very good.
Yeah, I suspect someday there's going to be a nice, a nice reel holder to function the large reels that she sells us, but she doesn't have anything like that yet. I thought a really big film canister would work, like an old 3/4 inch film can, but those are hard to find. So I've got a few. We're out looking for them now. I've got a few friends looking at thrift stores for them, and it has to be like 13.5 inches or something. So that would be cool. Well, we'll see how that works out. But yeah, the trick is always the back tension to get it onto whatever reel, whatever spool you want to use. But I know in the weird typewriters that we have, you can't just go out and buy a metal spool full of ribbon for a Remington portable, for example. So I was always moving ribbon years ago, so I came up with this, and originally I got this idea from Dwayne Jensen in one of his videos, but this one just has the extra attachments that make it work a lot better. So anyways, this is a speedy spooler. If anyone asks, I think this is a viable solution. because not everyone can cut all thread and chase it and get it going again. So, anywho.
So if I do
Very
a
good.
speedy spooler search on eBay, that'll come up.
Yeah, typewriter,
Okay.
ribbon replacement, speedy spooler. I put it under something like that, just hoping.
Got it.
Hey, Bob, could you rig it up so you could wind the ribbon when you're on your motorcycle? Like hook it up to the sprocket or chain of your motorcycle.
To the chain, yeah, right. I know that would make it a heck of a lot faster. Well, and a lot of times when I'm at home, I use this funny contraption.
Yep.
And that works. So that's more of a manual. But not everybody wants to keep that funny contraption around, and I think most people are happy to keep this nice little chingaderas around. So
There you go. There you go. They just have to make sure not to lose it.
right. Yeah, I ship it in a bag, in its own little plastic bag, in hopes that'll help keep all the parts together. But
very good. Very good. Excellent. Well, thank you for sharing that.
Thank you.
All right. So I think that was everyone. Let's see. Yes. All right. So our typing prompt again was the typing a letter to your future self. I guess I'll make myself big here, and there we go.
Sounds like a superpower.
Yeah, I know, huh? Make myself big. If only. It'd be ironic because my last name is short, but anyway. All right, so we have the letter here. All right, hopefully I can get through this. My throat is a little funky this morning. All right, so January 30, 2021. Dearest Gregory, my oldest friend, how are you? I hope this letter finds you well. How's the shoulder and the knees and that condition? You know the one you swore to never tell a living soul. Writing to you on the Olympia SM3, circa 1957, David Peterson from Typewriter Club Live so generously gave to you. I have so many questions, but I am left to wonder just how you might get me the answers. Time machine, telepathic link to the past, a postal service that travels so fast that it can, in fact, deliver mail to the past? Never mind. There are far more pressing questions. First and foremost, did you secure the necessary DNA samples from Ted Monk and Joe Van Cleve for cloning purposes in the event of their demise? As information officers for the typewriter revolution, they are crucial to our cause. This is assuming, of course, that our battle is yet to be won. Virtually as important as that question is this: does thermal fax paper still exist? Also, did you ever get your Olympia Traveler Deluxe in orange with white trim? For that matter, did you finally collect the entire Canon Typestar line? Have royal companions taken their rightful place as the most sought after typewriter? Is there a typewriter repair shop on every street corner? On a more personal note, does my marriage survive my typewriter collection? And related to that, does my typewriter collection survive my marriage? Finally, did Bob Marshall ever cut his hair? Oh, the answer is coming. The answer to the questions asked herein is 42. With utmost appreciation, I remain yours truly, Gregory Short.
That's great. That's great, Gregory. Well done.
That was fantastic.
One day we'll find out if Bob cut his hair.
Right. Still there. Still there right now, but
very good. Very good.
In the future, there will still be thermal paper. It'll just be faded, and so you can retype on it.
There you go. And we'll have your and Joe's DNA for cloning purposes.
You got to be pretty cute for that.
Oh.
Yeah, That I'm out of that running.
Yeah, so as you can see, I just kind of had fun with it and just, was kind of silly. So, but does anyone else have something they would like to share? Any typewriter prompts? And if not, that's okay. You don't have to read it.
I just noticed the assignment last night, so I didn't have time.
That's okay. That's okay. Yeah.
I did do some writing, Gregory, as I had posted on the Facebook group. People were asking, where's the writing prompt buried deep within your website?
Yes.
So yeah, I can read. I'll read part of mine. Some of it's a bit personal, but I'll read the abridged version anyway.
That would be fine.
So I had written it yesterday, but had for some reason dated it for today. But I'm gonna plan on putting it away somewhere and opening it in 20 years. So
there you go.
So open this on January 31st, 2041. Dear Curry, yes, here in 21, it's still COVID. It hasn't quite been a year yet, but it sure feels like it some days. Sometimes we forget which day of the week it is, and it goes from Monday to Friday really quickly. Today, we're going to order sushi for dinner. We'll eat it while watching Kim's Convenience, that CBC comedy about a Korean family. I don't know if any of you in the States have had the chance to watch that, but really good recent Canadian comedy. I'm here hoping for a job soon. Are you still working at age 68? I'm guessing that you might be because we got started on our pension late. I go into some stuff about there's a couple of jobs that I'm hoping that I'll be able to get this month. So then I say, have you been able to put back into your pension for another 17 years? Otherwise, you're going to be a greeter at Walmart if they still have Walmart 20 years into the future, or were they taken over by Amazon or Apple? Do you still have any of your now vintage Apple devices, like the iMac G4 or an iPad? How about the BlackBerry Playbook? Do you still have that? So I live in Waterloo, Ontario, which is where the BlackBerry is from, and I still have my BlackBerry Playbook. And go into some stuff. I've started my own business, so asking how that's going, and how long did it take for the aviation industry to recover after the pandemic? So that's kind of my background. I wonder if there are even planes 20 years from now, or if there's some other main form of transportation like the Hyperloop, or some near space orbit craft that can get you from New York to Paris in under an hour. Or did Google perfect teleportation? What did you ever do with the 40+ typewriters you collected? Did you hang on to any of them? Are you let's see. Have you been able to, talk some stuff about my kids? And yeah, I think I'll sort of leave it at that for now, but.
Very good.
I think the answer to your 40 typewriter collection is it jumped to 300.
Probably. I mean, I haven't quite been a year yet. It'll be a year on February the 15th since I started collecting, and yeah, I'm at more than 40. So I think you need two more so that you can have 42. 42.
The
answer to the question.
Yes. Well, thank you so much for sharing. I appreciate that. And is that the typewriter that you used?
Yes, an Olympia SM8.
Very good. Excellent. Let's see here. Oh, I do want to say, so when I don't remember what grade it was. I'm thinking it was probably grade school. I want to say like 3rd or 4th grade. And our teacher did this wonderful thing. So she had us write a letter to ourselves. And we had to provide the envelope and put a stamp on it. And so basically she collected all these letters, and then a year later she actually mailed them to us. So that was really cool. I appreciated that she did that, and it was kind of funny seeing what I had, what my concerns were as probably a 3rd or 4th grader, and then how things had changed when I was a 4th or 5th grader. So, and that's just a year span. So that just goes to show that a lot can change in a year. So
I had
Yeah.
a third grade teacher who had us answer questions and mailed them to us when we graduated from high
Oh,
school.
wow.
It was pretty funny. I wanted to grow up and marry Lee Majors.
Excellent.
$6 million.
Yep, $6 million man.
Wow. Wow, that is dedication. My goodness. Wow. When you graduated.
Yeah.
Okay.
Of course, we'd all forgotten about it.
I know, huh? Even after a year, I had forgotten, and then all of a sudden I got it in the mail. I was like, oh yeah.
Yeah.
Very
people
cool.
Still be living in the same house that many years on.
Well, I'm trying to remember. I wonder if they were delivered through the school. I can't.
Oh.
Yeah, they may have come to us at school because we didn't move around a whole lot then, in our community. So.
Yeah. Very good. Did anyone else have a letter they want to share? And again, you don't have to read it. You can just tell us about it, or even just show it on screen. Or
Richard Polt kept raising his hand.
Do you have one, Richard?
Don't have a letter. No. Ted inspired me to show you a couple of cases if you want to see them.
Oh, of course.
Well, this is a little cheap plastic case I found on Amazon, and I needed it because I needed a place to put this.
Bennett, yeah, or your junior. Is that a junior?
Foam, which I was able to cut out into the shape of a Bennett.
Mm-hmm.
And then put the name Bennett on there using my front tool.
Very nice.
Another thing I did recently was that I had this case for Goss and Tippa where the hardware was gone, so I put these latches on the side.
Oh,
that's a good idea.
So now it has a nice little place to live.
That's nice.
That's a wonderful case too.
Yeah, it's a beautiful case. It's got pockets and
Wow.
So,
my goodness. Oh my goodness. Wow.
That is cool.
Very nice.
So I'm guessing those were high-end typewriters back in the day, just based on the case.
I don't know what the price was, but they're very nicely made. These Gossens. Everybody testifies to that, to their quality. And the earliest ones are more boxy and simple looking, and I like these because they've obviously put a lot of thought into just style.
Yeah,
that is beautiful.
Speedboat.
Beautiful thing.
Wow, that's amazing.
The only case better than that for a Goss and Tippa is the leather one that folds over and has all the pockets inside. That Scott Kernigan has 3 of those, I think.
Wow. Well, thank you for showing those. Those are amazing. Very good.
This is the first I've ever heard of a Bennett typewriter.
You want me to show you a little bit about it?
Yes.
Sure.
Yeah.
So this is about 110 years old, and it was it's the smallest keyboard typewriter ever made.
Oh my gosh.
And in order to achieve that, they use a type wheel.
Very wacky set of push gears.
Easily take it apart and see.
Yeah.
the type.
My goodness.
Very clever little mechanism. And then type like this. When you push down the top key on a row, all keys go. So it's kind of
interesting.
And this just slides back and forth. There's no mainspring or anything. Like this.
So each key press kind of cranks it over one.
Yeah, it just pushes it over, kind of like on a blick.
Yeah.
And then Fig and Cap move the type wheel up and down. It's all really very delicate and clever, but obviously not as fast as a normal typewriter. And often they're not working these days, but they're pretty cute, and they sold pretty well in their day.
Wow.
Are they hard to find?
Not really. If you just look on eBay, 1 or 2 a month will turn up.
Bennett or Junior are the names that you're looking for.
Yeah, the Junior uses an ink, what do you call it, an ink roller, and this uses
Do we know what the intended market for those was? Like business people on the go, or?
Yeah, that's kind of what their ad suggested. You know, when you're traveling, you can stick this in your coat pocket if you have a pretty big coat pocket.
Yeah.
You know, I've taken it out. I put it in my bike bag and taken it for a ride. It does add
Nice.
to the weight because it's pretty solid. It's small but solid.
It's about the same size as a BlackBerry Playbook, I think.
Oh, okay.
Well, just waiting for you to take that on a plane and try typing.
Yeah, well, it's something you could use on.
I'm glad you did that, not me.
It did work.
It's also a weapon.
Yeah. So I'm
That's
assuming
pretty wild.
I'm assuming when you type it probably isn't very loud at all, right?
No, it's not. I'll see if I can get this back together and then demonstrate. Although it's hard to hear typing over Zoom anyway. So
Exactly, it blocks
Yeah.
it. And
Yeah.
unless you're Ted Monk, it allows him to type.
It does? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
It did.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
it's
if
just
you-
kind of a ka-chunk sound.
Yeah. Okay, that's not bad. Not bad.
Oh, interesting.
I didn't know the Platin came out like that, or the Carriage.
It does now.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
You have to hold your mouth just right, and then it falls right out. Yeah.
Very good.
You have to be demonstrating
thing is-
something on camera.
Yeah. That thing is pretty amazing, I must say.
there we go. It's back in now.
All right.
Very good.
The
It
space is-
survived.
Is that an Underwood behind you?
This is an Underwood Electric. I think I demonstrated last time I was on here.
Yeah, we talked about it.
I stripped the paint off and put old keys on it, so it looks pretty cool.
Yeah, it
It
does.
does.
I've got an old Underwood. I saw it on Nero Wolf
Oh.
TV show.
Mm-hmm.
That's the one that his assistant uses, and it was so cool looking. So I
It's
happened
Archie's.
to find one on Craigslist.
Nice.
Very good. Anyone else have anything they want to share?
So
I did a writing thing the other day, which wasn't the prompt that you were talking about.
That's okay. That's okay.
I just got this Royal working the other day, and I start with the quick brown fox jumps over the lazy dog, and then I continued on with things that sounded like that but weren't the same, like the radioactive squirrels decimated the post office. The Adriatic barn swallow damaged the haberdashery. So they aren't pangrams, but they sound like they might be. You have to like look and see.
Yeah.
Just because the awkward phrasing sounds like that. Those are my favorites. I don't think anyone better than that. Quadratic flux permeates the expansive savanna.
Oh, wow.
So I'd say a half page of those things.
Yeah. So how's your Royal Futura 800?
It is typing. It's typing well. I think the more I
Very
type on it,
good.
the better it gets.
Good. Because I know you had a lot of issues with it.
Well, I had two issues. I put them both online, and they were both fixed instantly. First was I didn't know how the magic margins worked. People decided to jump on and tell me, oh, that's simple. The first machine I've had that has that. I didn't know you had to clear it and then move it. I think I Googled it and I saw I read a little piece about someone that explaining how to do it, and I didn't read the whole section.
Oh.
So I move it and set it. It doesn't set, but I wasn't clearing it and moving it over. It's kind of like you got a magnet and you're picking up the margin and moving it over and dropping it.
Yes.
And I didn't get the concept. And then the other thing was I cleaned it out. I took the panels off and I blew it off with compressed air, put everything back on, and it didn't advance. The carriage didn't advance, and the spacebar didn't work. like the backspace worked, and it was really strange. And I posted it online, and people were like, "Well, is the drawband broken?" I'm like, "No, it's not broken. It works, but it doesn't advance." So I put it up on that big shelf so I could get a better picture of it. With the articulated lamp on it, and when I put it on the shelf and I was going to hit the keys to make it actuate to show what the problem was, it was fixed. So I took it down very carefully, put everything back on, and I just haven't touched it since. But I figured something's sticky, something's gummy, and I probably blew some more dust into it when I cleaned it out, and it worked itself loose when I was moving it. So I'll just flush it out somewhere when I have time.
The old
Very
put it on
good.
the shelf
Yeah.
method.
Then just ask somebody, say, "Oh, I have this big problem. I need help," and then you look like an idiot, which is fine because I don't have to do work.
Well, I think, you know, it's fairly common that people have issues with the magic margins,
Yeah.
just because it's not obvious how they work.
Yeah, which is why I kind of thought, oh, it's a complicated mechanism. There's probably something wrong with it. I said, or I don't understand how this works.
It's magic, not science.
Posted like, yeah, you know how that works, which is good. Now I know.
So I'm curious, what are your impressions of the Futura 800?
I like it. It's got a dampened feel to it more than other machines that I have. The keystrokes are kind of smooth and controlled. I don't make a consistent impression on this one yet, but I think it's just I'm not used to the travel of it on my fingers.
Okay.
Because if I work more, it comes out more consistent. But the first time I typed on it, like some letters are dark, some letters are light, more than usual. But I think I'm just not used to it yet. But it's really nice. I like the little arms that come up on the ribbon vibrator to hold the ribbon.
Yes, those are
That's-
wonderful.
Once I figured out how it worked, I'm like, oh, that's so cool.
Yeah.
It's
Until
also
the
got
spring breaks.
the color adjuster looks like the one on my Antares, only it's not as cool. Like my Parva has it's red and green on the lever. Or it's red and black on the lever. So you put it up the direction of the color. And this is it's just silver.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think Royal probably did it first.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like it. It's cool. And I like the typeface. It's got the E, lowercase e is really neat. And like the lowercase W.
Is that the one it looks like the E is kind of leaning back a little bit?
Yeah. Yeah. And
it's like rotated a little bit.
W's got serifs that point in.
Oh, yeah.
Let me change my camera. I had two cameras today.
Yeah, I'd like to see it.
Let's see, where's the W? Oh, here's one. So I can get that. Is it backwards?
No, it's not
Oh, yeah,
backwards.
yeah.
Very good.
Huh. Nice.
There's a W in Barn Swallow.
There's a good look. Yes. You can see them going in rather than out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pigeon toad.
And there it is.
I've got like 30 machines and now I have almost exactly the same typeface. But so it's the little differences I notice, and I like this typeface.
Yeah.
That's really nice.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I'm in one of my blog posts. I mentioned how excited I was because all my typewriters have essentially the same typeface, and then I saw the E, especially on the Futura 800. I was like, wow, something different.
Yep.
And so I think that's part of why I fell in love with that particular line of typewriters. So I have the two. I have the two. Actually, I think I might have two of the gray ones and one of the blue ones. I do want to pick up the pink one or the salmon one. And then I'm also curious about the Futura 600. So, and how that might compare with the 800.
It's just missing a couple of features, isn't it? I don't remember what the difference is.
Yeah. Oh, and recently I subscribed to Jot and Tittle typewriters. They're one of the typewriter sellers that post on YouTube. And they recently posted a Royal, I'm going to forget, a Royal, it starts with an F.
Futura?
No. It's like a squashed version of the Futura.
Safari?
Fiesta.
Safari?
No. Oh man, I'm not gonna remember now.
Flat.
I know what you're talking about. I can't think of what it is. It looks like a squashed version of the Futura. I don't remember.
Yeah.
Did you say an F or an S?
F as in Frank.
Oh, okay.
Sometimes they're called Parade.
Yeah,
Yeah, that sounds right.
The Holland made.
They had so many names for those.
Halberg Traveler style machine.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's gonna drive me crazy.
I have heard of Fiesta with an F in that particular model. I can't think of any others right offhand.
I'm bringing up their website right now, so I should have it momentarily. Assuming it hasn't sold. Where'd it go? Oh, this darn pop-up. Let's see. Okay, shop. It is. I will have the answer shortly, I promise. Okay, here it is. The Royal Forward 1.
Oh, that one I haven't heard of.
From 1961. It's very, very squat.
It's very forward.
No backspace key.
No back, only forward. No backspace.
Only forward.
Yeah, it looks beautiful, and it's one of the typewriters that they didn't repaint because the color is so nice. It has like a it's like the body is like a dark gray, and then the top is kind of a maybe a baby blue or even teal, maybe. Well, maybe not teal. Anyway, it's beautiful. Yeah, so I guess their website is jotandtittletypewriters.com. And then you click on shop and it has the list of their... There it is. Yes.
Ooh, doggy.
Yeah.
Nice.
Let's see.
Typewriters are expensive these days.
Yeah. But yeah, that was it. But it's a little beauty. Does anyone else have a typewriter series that they're just obsessed with?
Portables, Remington portables. I can't get enough of them. I don't know what my problem is.
The older ones or the
Give me a few
post-war?
months, I'll change opinion, I'm sure.
I do have a piece I could read here if you're interested, Gregory.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm going to aim the camera down just because this is the typewriter that I wrote it on. I didn't know what I was going to write, and I did this morning. This is my favorite Smith Corona Silent Super. I can always write good on this guy. But okay, so this is kind of long, and I'll try to get through it quick. So I was, I'm 63, and I was just thinking about what would I write to my future self about, and I'm always painfully aware of my shortcomings. So I wrote this about letter to my future self. Don't be so hard on yourself. Sure, everyone has regrets. Everyone is painfully aware of their own shortcomings. Sometimes we're aware soon enough so as to preclude the negative consequences, given an opportunity to change our behavior in the nick of time. Other times we must sit in the cheap seats of regret, high up in the bleachers, to ask ourselves over and over the inevitable question of why. The best we can hope for is to know ourselves, both the good and the bad. To know ourselves is to be painfully aware of our tendencies, our weaknesses, our frailties, our shortcomings, while simultaneously being aware also of our strengths, our creativity, our good nature, our brilliance even. To the point of knowing ourselves is to preclude those internal programs we all too easily play back to ourselves, triggered by those weaknesses we are all too familiar with, which sends us down the spiral path toward the pit of self-centeredness. To know ourselves is possessing a faith in our better nature that's always just under the surface, eager to come out and take over from the bumbling fool we would otherwise play. in knowing ourselves, we see clearly a choice set before us. We can be one of two people, but we cannot be simultaneously both. We must choose. And we are continually confronted moment by moment, day by day, with that same choice over and over again. The choice is always a fresh choice to make, always the opportunity to play it foolishly or wise. For today is a new opportunity. Yesterday's successes don't necessarily translate into today being an off day. There are no off days. The idea of maturity is that eventually we begin to learn from our bad choices and gain reinforcement from our good choices, making it easier to make those again until they become habitual. But even so, never forget the jester who lurks behind every shadow, ever ready to show his foolish self at a moment's notice. He is our little companion for life, but we do not have to do his bidding. P.S. I know you'll do me proud.
Hey,
Wow,
Joe,
that's
how
very
much you
nice,
take
though.
for that particular Smith Corona there?
How much would I take for it?
Yeah, if the writing turns out like that, I'm interested in
I know.
buying it. So.
Well, you know what?
That was very nice.
I'll tell you the story. I told this story before. I mean, I get to I'm at the age now where I'm realizing that every story I have to tell, I've already told before, but this is the one. This was the so-called hippie typewriter that was really dirty and grungy. And anyway, the whole long sordid saga of trying to iron out the intermittent skipping issues that it had. I ended up feeding a roll of paper through it and was typing page after page of single space lines of just random stream of consciousness stuff in order to get it to skip enough to be able to figure out a pattern to the skipping. And in the process of doing it, I discovered the whole thing about stream of consciousness writing through this typewriter. And part of it was, I think, the type alignment isn't perfect. And so it gives me some kind of internal permission to think it's not perfect. So it doesn't have to be perfect words. It can just be whatever you want. And then it's also 12 character per inch, so that you can fit more words on a page and less interruptions with carriage returns and changing paper if you're using sheets of paper. But anyways, yeah, that whole thing. And now it has all fresh rubber, has the new JJ Short Platen feed rollers, and the paper bill rollers are all new. So it's like a resurrected machine, right? It's like a new machine, but it is one of those that just, it really is something about it. It does work for me for writing.
Well, you do it proud. That was very nice.
Well, I didn't know what I was going to say. I did it this morning as I was eating breakfast. It must have been the green chili enchiladas and eggs that I had. The New Mexico chili.
Good
stuff.
Yeah. Anyways, yeah, that's it. So thanks, everybody. That was fun.
Yeah. Excellent. Thank you so much for sharing.
Good to see you, Richard. Thanks for stopping by.
Thanks,
Morning,
Richard.
Diane.
Thank you, Richard.
Richard, thank you for your time this past week. I
Have a
really
good day,
appreciate
Richard.
it.
Sorry I missed you, Richard.
Hi, Diane.
Hi.
And hello to Angela's kitty.
Hello, good morning.
On Zoom now, we have cast.
My son would be clear to say it's his kitty.
Oh, okay. Well, we can tell otherwise.
Yeah.
Does your cat have a name?
This is Nimrod.
Nimrod, nice.
That's perfect.
Very good, very good. We have a lot of cats in the typewriter community, so
yes.
I know Ted has a few. Curry has more than a few.
Only 5.
Oh yeah, very good. And I think we have David joining us. Welcome, David.
Sorry, I had to hit the unmute button. Nice to be here.
Yeah. Welcome back.
Yeah, sorry, I had sinus surgery, so it's kind of.
Oh my goodness.
It's fine. I'm good. Yeah.
Okay.
I remember that. Ugh.
Yes.
Yeah. So how's everybody doing? What are you guys talking about today?
Well, we've switched from themes or topics to typing prompts.
Oh,
so
okay.
Today's typing prompt was writing a letter to your future self. So I wrote one, and you were actually mentioned in the letter.
Oh,
Because
really?
I wrote it on that typewriter.
All right.
Yay! Thank you again. It's amazing. It's amazing. So thank you.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, and I think Ted mentioned he's making new feet for the case.
Oh,
so yeah, I'm pretty excited about that. But welcome back. It's good to see you again.
Oh, thank you very much. Yeah, I wrote in one of my books. I did that as a poem. As kind of
Okay.
a form thing, but it was. Let me see if I have it. Hold on, just a second.
Yeah. And while he's getting that, hello, William.
Good morning. Can you hear me?
How are you?
Yes.
Good.
Hi, William.
Yes. Very good. Very good. All right, David's back.
There you
Yes.
go. This is from
yes.
the first book I wrote called Me.
Yes.
Called A Note to Myself from the Future.
There you go.
I have this book, by the way. Yes.
Thank you. It says, Dear David, notes. On December 6, 2017, you will meet our future wife. Don't marry her. I had other warnings, but I think if you follow the first step, we'll be fine. P.S. Get our stuff together. And then it goes on to say, note to myself from the future, number 2. Dear David, remember when we got that letter from ourselves in the future that said we shouldn't marry our future wife? Well, I think I may have been mistaken. Things couldn't possibly be any worse than her than they are right now. You should probably marry her. Her name is Deborah. She works at Barnes & Noble. It's next to the mattress place. Note to myself in the future, number 3. Dear David, remember when we got that letter from us that said we should meet that girl at Barnes & Noble? Well, we really messed that up. You should probably wait until the date that the original note said and then meet her the original way. P.S. Since you aren't going to Barnes & Noble, I should tell you that I think we're a bit abrasive. This was our future wife at one point. I don't think we should treat her as in the future, not the future, but when you meet her at the bar or whatever. And then the last one is note to myself in the future. Dear David, on December 6, 2017, you'll meet our future wife. Don't marry her. Number 2, burn all the following notes that you receive after this note. Regards, David.
Very good.
Now that has I wrote that in 2011, so that was not based on anyone or anything. It was just
Okay.
the idea that you cannot change who you are and what you want to, and the idea of regret, and the idea that a stone is shaped by experience, and you are who you are because of what you go through, the good and the bad.
Exactly.
If I had to write myself a note from the future or to the future, I don't know what I would say. I'd just say, stay the course.
Yeah. I guess part of it would be that if you're successfully in the future, that you must be doing at least something right, you know?
Yeah. But what is the measure of success?
True.
Is it exclusive from happiness? To me, anyone who's happy what they do is successful. And there are a lot of people who are successful who are unhappy. So money doesn't. Right? I can't remember which comedian said, never seen anybody not smiling on a wave runner. You know, buy things. But for the soul, you know, what is happiness?
Yeah.
Success has nothing. It has some to do with it, but there's other variables.
Yeah.
Anyhow, good to be back.
Yeah. It really depends what is important to you. If being successful is important to you, that could be a big part of your what you consider success.
I think every human wants to leave their mark, right?
Yes, that is for sure.
In a sense, that's why we are still here. That's why we have tombstones. That's why people do horrific and wonderful things, because we want to be remembered beyond or after. So I think that's why people want to be successful, is that their legacy will continue or their story will continue after they're gone. But while we're here, we should focus on happiness and communal happiness, and global happiness, right? And
yeah, yeah. Well said, sir.
Thank you.
It's like people who recover from depression or addiction or something. They always have to hit that rock bottom to finally realize that, okay, well, now I've experienced it, and then they can move forward from there and turn their, and it's all about attitude and say happiness. So.
Regret is a terrible thing. Regret can really stop you from progressing as a human, and to get to a point where you say, well, I'm not regretful because I am who I am it's a big step. It takes a lifetime. If I would have taken this fork in the road, if you're that guy that's always thinking or gal that's always thinking about if I would have, you're not going to progress. You did what you did, and there's still plenty of time to move whichever direction you want.
Yeah.
Let's get heavy this morning. All right. Michigan.
Very good.
Another thing to remember is we here are stuck in linear or chronos time, and we cannot alter time. And the biggest thing to bear in mind is you can't shoulda. I should have done this, I should have done that. You can't, it's behind you. Okay. Imagine you are in a vehicle of life. First thing you do is take out the rearview mirror, throw it away. That's gone behind you. Look forward. How can you improve? I wouldn't say improve your own life, but the best way to improve your own life is to work on improving others, work on helping others. Then you get feedback. And my first father-in-law, who passed away, just a few years ago, he was 89 when he passed away. He is remembered by so many people, by how many people he helped emotionally, spiritually, with words of wisdom. Like a lot of people still say, I still remember Albert saying this. And it is said that money can't buy happiness, but not having to worry about money is a big stress factor to get to eliminate.
That's true.
Yeah. I think once you realize that, yeah, exactly. The job that I have now, I'm very fortunate to be in a position where I'm helping. And when I leave home at night, I feel great. I feel good about what I've accomplished. And I think you have to find that, but if you don't, there are other places to find that in the local community. It is very true, William. Helping others, it makes you feel, and I don't believe in altruism. I believe that we do things because we get rewards, whether we know that we feel better about ourselves. And that's okay. It's okay to say that because you're getting something done and you're doing something good. And if everybody does that, then, it's a collective. Even if you don't believe in altruism like myself, it's not a bad thing. It gets things done. But if you don't take the time and you focus only on your own internal happiness, and you're saying something's missing, that's probably what it is. And William said it wonderfully. You take that review mirror, you throw it away, you go forward, but along your journey, pick up a couple of hitchhikers and and help other people along. I'm not, hitchhikers when it was safe.
Metaphorically speaking,
everyone is insane now, so
yeah.
Help them in their journey.
Make your life very interesting.
Well said, William. Well said.
What was that, Brian?
I said the ones that don't murder you will make an interesting story.
Yeah, that's true.
And the ones that do give you an ending to the story. That's
right.
Very interesting. Yeah.
I was gonna say that I literally, in my cars, I literally turn the rearview mirror down after I've backed up after I've used it. And I don't, there was a thing I started noticing when I was riding a motorcycle. I was not conscious or obsessively conscious of cars behind me, because in Albuquerque, like a lot of cities, there's a lot of people that tailgate you. And so I noticed when I was driving a car, I was always conscious of tailgaters, and that's because I had that rear view mirror and within my vision, especially a smaller car where the mirrors are closer together, like the side mirror is closer and it's within your primary vision zone. But on my motorcycle, I didn't have that problem because there's no rear view mirror. You have to look over to your handlebar to see it, right? So I realized, okay, I can just flip my mirror down and I'm not going to worry about, if I want to see who's behind me, I just peek over at my side view mirror, right? And that's kind of a lesson for life. It's kind of what David alluded to and what William did also. And of course, the conversation has now gotten a little bit serious, so I'm going to make it a little bit lighthearted. Ted earlier left a chat message, and he liked the phrase in my thing, the cheap seats of regret. He says it would make a good band name. And that reminds me, I have a document somewhere that I started writing at work a couple, maybe 15 years ago, when I had one of these little Palm Pilots at work. And every time I come up with a good name for a band name, I'd write it down. And I have hundreds of these crazy band names, but I think one of my favorite band names of all times was Psycho Delilah and the Samson Boys. I don't know why. I think that's hilarious. Anyways, so that's my attempt at lighthearted humor now.
So now you need to start a band.
Exactly. You don't need to be a musician, right?
Nope. I never
Start a
needed to.
typewriter band.
Well, that's right.
There you go.
Well, now, Joe, whenever I'm driving behind somebody who hasn't removed the snow from their back window, I'll know it's you.
Yes. Well, actually, we got about 4 inches of snow last week here at my house. I live on the east side of town, close, maybe a couple miles from the Sandias. So we get more snow up here than on the west side of Albuquerque. But yeah, 4 inches is kind of a big snow for Albuquerque. But, it's not much compared to the rest of the country, but
it's a lot for me. Yeah.
Joe, I just wanted to say, that cars are a lot wider than motorcycles, right?
Yeah. Yeah. They are.
If you're a motorcycle rider riding behind Joe, be careful, because he's going to be YOLO about changing the lanes.
When I still lived in England, I used to be a motorcycle safety instructor with a local motorcycle safety training board. And one thing that we were always told to get into the habit is 10% of your time should be checking your mirrors and your instruments. So you're running along, check your, of course in England it was check your right mirror, check your instruments, left mirror, back ahead.
Oh yeah, constantly make sure there's nobody behind you too close. Yeah. I learned from, go ahead.
I think May has an OBS setup that you'll be jealous of.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah, we gotta get a close look at her typing. Let's see if I can make it big.
Good morning. Good morning.
How are you, May?
So I've got
you've got the
set up. So I've got a boroscope camera. Oh, it's backwards, isn't it? I've got.
No, it's not.
It's not.
Looks good.
Oh, I'm seeing it backwards.
It reads correct from here. Yep.
Yep.
That's wonderful.
Explain how to use the cell phone camera to use as a webcam. It was so easy. You just download the Droid Cam app and click a few numbers into the OBS software, and away we go. So
there you go.
Trying to make things more interesting for us, and
that is wonderful. I was watching you type, and I was like, oh my goodness.
Oh yeah, you can even read it.
Yeah.
Nice.
One of the things I do during Typewriter Club Live is kind of type minutes as we go, just random stream of consciousness, whatever we're talking about. So now you can see what I'm typing.
There you go. That is awesome. Great job.
And I didn't do my homework. I got so busy trying to get this all set up that I.
Oh no,
once I got it all set up, I was too tired to come up with the assignment. But
No,
you know, pretty
that's okay.
much every time I type something on a typewriter, it is a letter to my future self for the most part, you know, because I type about, you know, I journalize, so I type about life in general and typewriters a lot. And so all that will eventually go up on the blog, and collectively, they're all letters to my future self. You know,
Nice.
many years ago, I started a knitting and crochet, a yarn gear blog. And I think I started it back in 2008 or 9. And, you know, I go back to it occasionally and look. And it was sometimes I cringe at the writing, you know, I did back then. we all get better and better as we go.
Yes.
So I've got a lot of blogging to my future self already online. And I'm glad I did it, you know, because now I can see my
Well, with
growth
multiple
as a
personality disorder, I could write to my future selves.
Yeah, I didn't really get to the assignment either, but I have something new. Can I show it?
Of course you can.
Show and tell. Yeah.
Let's
No,
see.
absolutely not. You're not allowed.
Oh, here we go.
Fox.
Ooh.
Fox.
Project.
Did you get it working?
Not yet. The W and the Z keys are having some major issues, and I'm not sure. I don't know what I'm gonna have to do to get those sorted out.
Buy a hammer.
I think they need a welder, to be honest.
You just need some bubble gum and some string.
MacGyver it. Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
The cat will take care of it.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, MacGyver would be a good name for a cat.
Somebody's being nosy.
It has
Yeah.
good smells.
So, Diane, are those two link keys missing the linkages?
No, they're just broken.
Oh.
Can't move. Come on, sweetie, move.
Typewriter tastes good.
Well, apparently it does. As you can see, there's some issues down there.
Yeah.
Those are the two keys.
Wow, they
hang
dropped way down.
Those are crossed, those two.
Well, they're just hanging down for right now, but they're kind of broken at this end, and that's kind of the end where they connect. So, Tyler Anderson thinks I can get it working. Probably, I'm probably gonna need his help quite a bit, but he's the Fox guy, so. Anyway,
one thing I have got up and thought about when repairing typewriters is, is there was a jewelry repair store in the town in the city south of us, and he was advertising doing laser welding on really fine intricate parts. I wonder if a jeweler with a laser welder could actually re-weld steel linkages and that sort of stuff, tight bars, etc.
I don't know. Maybe I have to get them out and see how damaged they are.
They look kind of corroded. What's that white rust that was on the bottom?
Yeah, I think they're corroded too, and I don't know about white rust, but that was definitely some corrosion. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see.
And you'd have to pull the crossbar out, right, for all those linkages attached to, right, to get those two out, I guess.
I'm not. There's some little pieces that look kind of like bent paper clips. I don't know how else to describe them, but anyway, one of them already came out just by moving it a little. Oh, gee. So I have it in a little container for right now. So, like I said, project, but we'll see.
Bye, Angela. Thank you for joining us.
Yep. See you next week. All being well.
Yes, thank you. Have a good one.
We do have Emily in the comments. She says, "Beautiful letter, Joe. We do not have to do the jester's bidding. And David Corneli says, very philosophical this discussion today. Interesting. Yes, it has been very philosophical, and I like that because I'm an amateur philosopher.
I think typewriters inspire us to be philosophical because they inspire us to write. And,
exactly.
Writing in itself is very philosophical.
Yeah, and we've discussed how writing on typewriters and other means it is a very therapeutic thing for us to do. So yeah.
I'd add to that, Greg. I mean, I really enjoyed what Joe said about riding motorcycles. I ride motorcycles everywhere and travel everywhere and write about it. And I think when you write on a typewriter, I always feel naked in front of a typewriter. Like it just can't hide anything. And I feel the same way on a motorcycle. The good thing is you get to see everything. The other news is you get to be in everything on a motorcycle, and I think a typewriter does the same thing. So if y'all are enjoying your automobiles, that's fine. Feel free to hit it sometime on a motorcycle, and instead of the quote from Robert Perseg of Zen and the Art of Motorcycle Maintenance, instead of looking out a TV looking type window, is that you're actually part of the scene. You're actually in the scene instead of
it's a big difference
at the scene.
Yep, and
I think
chapter 2.
typewriters do that to our souls naturally with anything we do. So
and the cycle you're working on is yourself.
That's right. There you go.
Yes.
Well, and somebody had to point that out to me the other day too. I don't ride like I used to this year with COVID. I don't hit up all the events, and I've probably only done 5,000-6,000 miles this year. It's been a very low year in that regard. Typewriters, working on typewriters are a lot safer than riding motorcycles. Nobody, that just hit my head 2 weeks ago. Lucky me, lucky me to really enjoy that. But whatever, I'd still enjoy a good motorcycle ride any day of the week.
Oh, of course.
Definitely.
Oh, there's another kitty. Oh, beautiful. What's your cat's name, William?
Say again?
What's your cat's name?
Okay, that one is Jake. And
okay.
His brother's Elwood.
Yes.
Some people may get that, some people may not.
The Blues.
There you go.
The brothers on a mission from God.
Yep.
Very good.
When we first knew that we were getting these two, my wife and I had quite a discussion about what the name should be. My first choice was Jacob and Wilhelm, after the Brothers Grimm.
Oh.
My wife Juliana says, no, it should be Niles and Fraser, after the TV show. I said, no, seriously. How about Bob and Doug, after SCTV?
The Mackenzie brothers.
Yes. So then we finally settled on Jake and Elwood.
Right.
4 whole fried chickens and a slice of dry white toast.
I love the shot of Brian's dog there. He's like, what's with all this cat talk?
I know. He must be deeply offended.
Or he cheese.
Yeah. So if I can just share something real quick.
Yeah.
Talking about typing. I don't know if you can see that.
Yes.
There you go.
Oh, nice.
Hi.
The Bantam has no numbers, so I figured that's how you write the date.
There you go.
Oh,
There you go. Yeah.
Very cool.
Clever. Very clever.
Yeah, there you go. So that's and this here is the wee machine.
Oh.
Ooh.
It's
the color keys.
It's Bennett's big brother.
Possibly.
Yeah.
Bantam.
Bantam.
So are those children's machines? Are they meant to be for children or just a very basic typewriter?
Okay.
They were.
Oh, you want to put that thing all the way on the shelf?
William, that thing's hanging off the edge.
The
warning.
Yep. The Bantam was originally sold as a children's teaching typewriter.
Okay.
Oh.
But they were sold back in the 30s during the height of the Depression. So quite a few adults bought them as well because they were the cheapest typewriter you could get at the time. And for another $1.50, you could get a case for it.
There you go.
Yeah. I know I've got a print off of a manual that I bought from the Antique Shop, Greg, I forget his last name.
Food. Oh, now
Food
you're
ads.
pronouncing food ads. That's it.
Anyhow, so yes, when I first got the typewriter, I took all the took most of the pieces, cleaned it up, serviced it, lubricated it. It would not feed paper through at all with it down. So I ended up having the Platinum renewed by J.G. Short. It's a different machine altogether.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
It feeds the paper typed nicely. I have a feeling that a person would get a little tired trying to write a full-length letter on it.
So Gregory,
yes,
I just wanted to let you know that I did type a letter to myself. I saw the prompt, but
excellent.
I went too personal, so I'm not going to read this. But safe to say, I am one of those people that does not. I couldn't do without the rear view mirror, either in my car or the side view mirrors on my motorcycle. Or in my life, in my note, I just reminded myself about hitting rock bottom a while back in my past, and little lessons learned from that. And that's kind of the key to me, personally, is learning from past mistakes and looking at how we build upon that, forgive ourselves, and move forward. So my note kind of touched upon all of that to some degree. And
very good.
So I will say my to keep things on a more lighthearted note, my son has slipped me some typewriter topics to share. I'm supposed to say, sometimes it can be fun to crouch on top of the table and pretend that I am the typewriter. He's got an illustration of me sitting here going click, click.
Oh.
Topic number 2. I've taken to playing hide and seek with my typewriters. The game seems to end immediately or never, depending on who is the seeker. And then topic number 3, a fun fact about typewriters is that they cannot see shades of red. So he's covered the gamut for me here, and he balanced out my mood this morning. But I appreciated awesome. the writing prompt.
Very good.
I thought it was a good exercise, and I'll stay tuned for future prompts as we move forward. I appreciate you looking at changing things around, and it was a worthwhile exercise.
Very good. Now I do want to ask you, like, what typewriter did you choose, and what was your thinking in choosing the particular typewriter?
Well, for me, that was I ended up recently with an Olympia Traveler. And so I used that as kind of my typing test. And so, yeah, there was no, generally, if I, my go-to typewriter is the very first one I ever purchased, which is Olympia SM9. And I just, I love the feel of the machine, and it just works,
Yeah.
There's just no quirks or anything about it. It's just very, very functional, and so I use that most of the time.
And Olympia types the same as the Mercedes drives.
It's very precise. It's just But I switch between all of them. I still have few enough that I use everyone. I only have 2 with the same typeface. So I'll switch out just to change up, the typeface on the end product. And
Yes.
so, it keeps things interesting that way. But I didn't have like a deep emotional tie-in to the machine that I used. It was really just an excuse to put it through its paces a little bit and see, what attention it might need.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I'm glad the writing prompt was able to assist with your test type.
Yeah, no, like I say, I thought it was a cool exercise, and I'm glad that you are looking into things like that for us to focus on.
Yeah, I did. Go ahead.
I take it I'm missing something here. The people talking about writing prompts and whatever.
Yeah. So originally when we started this, we would have themes or topics, and it'd be like asked and answered. We had one called Fix It or Forget It. We had Show and Tell, Type and Talk. And I felt like these topics or themes were kind of running their course. Okay. So I mentioned earlier that I stole the idea from Joe Van Cleve. Again, he has these wonderful videos called Typing Assignments.
Okay.
And so be sure and check out those videos. But essentially, it's a writing prompt. So my idea is to get us typing with our typewriters. And I believe Curry mentioned that it gave him the opportunity to type about something other than his cats.
I might want to interject here just a moment and just mention, for the sake of William and others, that you might not, a lot of us may not be familiar with what your website is, Gregory, for where the next week's typing prompt will be, what'll be the subject matter. So what is the website address? So everybody has it.
Yes, it's typepals.com. So typepals.com.
Got that.
And we do also have the Facebook group, Typewriter Club Live.
I don't have
Facebook. If you're on Facebook. Okay. Yeah. But yeah, the website is typepals.com, as in friends, typepals.com.
Yeah. And where in the web page is the assignment going to be listed for the next week?
It is over on the right-hand side.
Okay.
And there's I forget what they call it, but it's over on the right-hand side, unless you're on mobile. If you're on mobile, as May discovered, it's all the way at the bottom. So either check the right-hand side if you're on a computer, or if you're on mobile, it'll be down at the bottom. And I believe it's called Upcoming Streams. And then it tells you a little bit about why we're doing the typing prompts, and has the upcoming ones. I have just announced the next one, which is grocery list. Either real or imaginary. So I think people can get creative with that. And again, these are just prompts to get us using our machines and perhaps being creative, or as some of us, it was a chance to get philosophical. So yeah, so sorry to leave you in the dark there, William.
Okay.
I was going to suggest, Gregory, maybe you can put the graphic on the bottom of your screen for the web page address for the Type Pals, or something like that.
I just put it on mine.
I saw that. I like the typeface there.
Oh, thank you, Ted. Thank you. That's awesome.
I'd love to add to that. I'm actually putting together a website for Typewriter Muse. I mean, Joe, Monk, Greg, you guys mind if I put hyperlinks on my website to your guys' cool stuff?
Sure.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay, that'd be great. I appreciate it.
That's a good
There
idea.
are some great resources to click on and enjoy, so.
Yeah.
All the good stuff. I don't have a full list I'm sure there's other people I mean to ask as well, but
ooh, colorful.
There,
Bob,
make it
it's
all
nice
fiery.
of you to ask.
Yes.
Well,
I
you
just
know.
blinked.
Yeah, good hyperlink pointing you in the right direction. Want to check out cool stuff? Here it is. Here's a typewriter database. Here's a super cool guy you can learn everything from in the middle of, middle of Albuquerque, whatever, right? So, thanks, guys.
So Gregory, I've already started my grocery list. It's Vaseline, shotgun shells, and bourbon.
That's just a sneak peek, right?
I don't know what that means. I don't know what it means. Anyways,
The incomes are going to Joe's house.
yeah. Right there.
Very good, very good. So you have the head start then.
I have a head start.
Yeah.
Joe, clearly that was not written on the Smith Corona.
No, it wasn't. No, that was the Hermes 3000 is a different creature altogether, I think.
Yeah. It has a chip on its shoulder.
Yes,
it does. Literally.
Good
So
morning,
I
Sarah.
do.
Hello.
Oh yes. Hello, Sarah. How are you?
Hi, Sarah.
Hi guys, how are you?
Good.
Good morning, Sarah.
Morning. Nice
Good
to see
morning.
you. Nice to see you all. Hi.
You as well.
And I don't think I said hi to Anthony. How are you, Anthony?
I am good. Hi,
Very
everybody.
good. Very good.
See everybody.
Excellent.
Hey, good morning.
William, I'm a fellow Canadian, William.
Who am I speaking with?
Anthony,
Anthony. Where are you?
right up here.
Oh, there we are.
Yeah.
Whereabouts are you from?
I'm from Winnipeg.
Oh, Winterpeg. Right in the
Better
corner.
known as Winterpeg,
Winter.
home of Portage and Payne, the coldest corner in North America.
Yep. Welcome
Wow.
to Winnipeg. Welcome to Winnipeg. Got deep?
Yeah. I live in Delaware now, so the weather's a little different.
Oh, okay.
We're actually getting our first snow today, people. We don't get snow in Delaware. We get rain.
Yeah.
We get gale warnings and rain. So today's the first day of snow. So
Interesting.
Yep.
there it is.
My first wife came from Selkirk, so I know Winnipeg area quite well. And from when I used to live, the next town south out to Selkirk was a 14 hours behind the wheel, plus stops. When I was in my 20s, I could do that in a day. Not anymore.
And to all the Americans on here, yes, all the Canadians on this board do know each other.
I suspected.
We're all North Americans, though.
I don't know about you, Joe.
I always suspected that Canada was a wide expanse and that there were hardly any people there, and now I know it's true.
Yeah.
Have typewriters that go to this club.
Yeah.
Oh, and Dan recently got his first fountain pen.
Woo!
Yay!
Oh, look at
I've been actually using it, jotting notes down, listening to everybody, websites and so forth. I really like
lever
it.
filled.
It's smooth.
Does it feel like you sign an official document? Have you been?
I do. I was telling Gregory, this one's a medium nib. Is that the right term? I'm new to this.
Yes.
Nib. And I think I'm gonna get a fine also. I do prefer the fine tip. But boy, I did this is the first time I've ever used a fountain pen ever. And I was shocked in how smooth and even the ink comes out of it.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't it fun?
Crazy. It's really nice to write with. Now, the only mistake I made is the first one. You get these little plastic ink cartridges, you shove it in, and then it says to squeeze to get the ink started.
Ooh,
that just basically made a puddle on my desk. Just a couple inch-pounds too much of pressure. So, lesson learned on that one.
Well,
but
you know what they call fountain pens. You know what
yes, it was
pens?
a fountain.
It's called a controlled spill. That's what a fountain pen is. That's the definition of a fountain pen, controlled spill.
Now, another stupid question, but do they sell ink in different colors at all? Or?
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
Oh,
okay.
You fresh little face,
Too
you.
many.
I know, fresh meat here.
It's that cute. He doesn't know.
I don't know.
Here you go. Here you
But-
go. An example of this. Look at that. Look at
Yep.
that. Oh, copper colored. Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah, that's ancient copper, right?
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
And the pen did come with the one that you can refill. You
Yeah, the
squeeze
little
it.
bulk fill one. Yeah,
I kind of called it the turkey baster.
exactly. Yeah,
So I haven't tried that yet.
So Dan, what you're going to need is to get some of these inkjet cartridge refilling syringes, and then you can refill your cartridges or your converters really easy from bottled ink.
Really?
That's
I've been
how
doing
I
that
use
for
it.
years.
Yeah. And then these things, the tips screw off so you can clean it real easy and reuse these syringes. But that's how to do it. Yep.
Do you need a special cleaner for this ink to clean the?
I use just warm water and a really small amount of dish soap, and then flush it out good.
Oh, okay.
And the other thing I recommend is if you're using a needle, take it to the grinder and just take the very sharp end off, round it off, so you don't stab yourself.
Impale
with it.
yourself.
I mean, I've been doing that since the early 80s. Refilling cartridges, refilling reservoirs with syringes. As in grade school, we were not allowed to use ballpoint pen. All writing had to be done in fountain pen or cartridge pen, as you call them. And so my dad taught me when I was 11 years old how to clean, care for a fountain pen. And each one of us got a bottle of ink that was supposed to last us the year. Well, my bottle of blue ink got stolen. And I thought I was going to be in trouble. So I started using food coloring. Well, blue food coloring works just beautifully in a fountain pen. Nobody was any the better. But when I finished with blue food coloring, I switched to green. I had to make a trip to the principal's office to explain why I was writing in green, not blue, black, or blue, black.
Oh.
Yes,
little memories like that come back now and then from my days of fountain pens.
That's funny.
Dan, the thing I really like about fountain pens is the bottled ink part of it, because it gives you the ability to mix your own colors if you want.
Oh, yeah, I never thought about
right?
that.
You can get a blue. A number of different ink brands do blue black, and you'll find like Pilot's blue black is a little grayer, and some of like the Parker Quink is a little more brilliant blue and things like that. But you can mix your own colors, like mix a blue with a copper colored and get an interesting darker brown kind of thing. There's a lot of different ways to do it. Yeah. And so it's also very economical, right? Bottled ink is just so economical to use.
A big price difference. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, Gregory was nice enough to suggest this starter kit from Amazon, and I ordered it right away, and I'm glad I did, for sure. I'm gonna get another one, hopefully with a finer tip, and then experiment with the bottled ink, like you said, and use the
also,
turkey.
yeah, you'll find in terms of the nib sizings, they go from like medium usually to extra fine, but traditionally the German-made nibs are wider than the Japanese nibs. So like a Japanese fine is finer than a German fine. And so, yeah. And I'm not really sure the Chinese-made pens now, whether they're German sizing or Japanese sizing. There's probably a little of both there. But.
Okay. I got a question too, and I can't really look into the cap, but I quickly realized that if you leave the cap off on this, how quickly the ink dries. Right? I had to push a little hard. I was shocked at how quickly. I don't know if there's like a little sponge at the end of that cap that keeps it dry, or is it just the fact that it's out of the air supply? I don't know.
It's sealed.
Out of the air, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, I'm liking this a lot. This is pretty cool.
Very good. I'm so glad.
I feel like we've introduced Dan to a gateway drug or something.
I know. I must have.
It is.
He's totally going to go downhill now, guys. He's going to.
Yeah.
I got 15 fountain pens today.
And I saw
Ink splattered.
Yes. His pocket will be stained.
Yeah, just totally stained. Yeah.
I enjoy using a 1.5 millimeter calligraphy nib for
yeah.
writing.
Okay. Wow, that's why.
I love those.
My sister did some calligraphy years
Gives
ago.
Gives it a little flair.
Someone just left me a message that I didn't quite catch it in time. William, your typewriter behind you is
falling off.
Going to fall down.
We're worried.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
kind of hanging off the edge.
Making us very nervous seeing that.
Secure.
Is that
So, Dan, I was going to suggest before we get off the topic of fountain pens, there is a really inexpensive pen made by Pilot called the Plumix, Plumix.
All right, I'm writing this down.
Yeah, it's like a $15 pen, and it has a stub nib. So it's like a wider italic nib, but the corners of the nib are rounded. It's easier to write. It gives you that thin, thick script effect, and it for me, it really makes my handwriting better because it kind of slows down my jitteriness a little bit and gives a nice, it's a really, it's a really nice pen.
Tremor myself, so
yeah,
that we've never figured out.
So this is the Lamy nib, but it is the calligraphy wide nib. I don't see. I don't know if you can. Yeah,
that is
very smooth. Yeah. And it makes for a very well. I can show you some.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Like that.
Yeah.
It's really nice.
So the name of that name of that pen again was
the Plumix. Plumix was the one I mentioned by Pilot. Pilot Plumix. Yeah.
With the stub nib.
Mine is the Lamy Ion.
Ah, okay.
I have
with the 1.5 millimeter nib.
What's that, Sarah?
Oh, I just have it's a cheap Zebra. You can get these in like multiple color packs and they're very cheap, but I like them. They're really easy to use and I carry them around in my purse and stuff.
Oh, look at that.
Zebra is a good brand though.
Yeah.
I think so. I like it, you know.
Yeah.
But it's called Zebra fountain pen. I mean, literally, that's all that it is.
Disposable.
Start carrying a purse.
Disposable.
It's
I've got a
upside down,
black,
Joe.
blue,
Yep.
pink. Yeah.
That's cool.
It's upside down, Joe.
Yes, I know. There you go. So this is the Pilot Plumix. It's very inexpensive. It has a screw-off cap that will post, and then the body of the pen unscrews. And I'm just refilling the cartridge with the syringe, but you can probably get a converter for it. And there's also people that have put an O-ring on the body and fill the entire back body with ink. Yeah, to make it a super. But it's like a $15 pen. It has this stub italic nib that's really, it writes really nice. So for a $15 fountain pen, it's really hard to beat.
And the other thing about fountain pens is that they take virtually zero down pressure.
Yes.
And my mom has arthritis in her hands. She'll be 86 in February. And she says that a ballpoint pen takes too much pressure, it hurts her hands, while a fountain pen just glides so nicely.
It does glide. I'm shocked how nice it writes.
In many of my, when I'm doing the write-up for a typewriter on Etsy or Kijiji, I'll quite often say on a cold winter's evening when it's snowy and nasty outside, there's nothing better than curling up with a good book, unless you like to write, unless you like writing to your friends and family, there's nothing that can beat a well-crafted fountain pens gliding across a vellum finish paper. If you are taught cursive handwriting in school, that's the way to go. If you weren't taught and you're writing like childish printing like mine, then the next best thing is a typewriter. Here is something for your consideration.
Yeah, that's good.
Noted.
They stopped teaching cursive writing in my two sons' school. They don't do it anymore.
Really?
I teach.
No.
My son got to learn it, and so did my daughter.
Yeah, that's been distressing.
I teach at a university, and I actually one day was writing on the board, and it got awful quiet. So I turned around. My handwriting's horrible, but I turned around and I asked the class, I said, just be honest, hands up, how many of you cannot read cursive? Vast majority of the students. 30 students in the room. I'd say at least 22 couldn't read it. Couldn't read cursive at all. It's like, and they weren't kidding. They couldn't read it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I asked about why, and they said, well, when you think about it, they just type and text.
It's all texting.
Yes, all texting now. Everything's online where they just type or text. They don't have to write. They know the printing, but to them, they wanted to dedicate more time towards other subjects than teaching cursive, which they feel is a dead art now, which I don't agree with. I think everybody should know cursive. Maybe that's just the nostalgia on my part or old school, but that's how I feel. But I do.
And they don't teach them to type. That's the problem. They don't teach them to type.
No, you're right.
Kids can't use typer. No, I've got my 14-year-old, all the cards at my aunts and uncles and everyone, the cards that they write him happy birthday, I have to read them to him because he can't read the writing to save his life. You know, he doesn't know cursive at 14. So I'm really disappointed in that.
I think in France, they still teach cursive. And I believe the school system still uses fountain pens, which is why so many of the French papers are so nice and fountain pen compatible, right?
I'm always the odd man out on this conversation. I learned cursive, but I never enjoyed it. And I always wanted to print like an architect.
I'm with you.
Probably because my dad, he printed in all caps. And so I geek out on mechanical pencils.
Did you ever find any of those lettering template things that architects use?
I didn't buy it. It was kind of pricey, but just the other week when I was out at an antique store locally, they had it was in a really nice little case, a K&E system. I think it's exactly what you're talking about, right?
Like you have the stylus that follows in the letter form.
It's a pantograph, right?
Pantograph, that's it.
Yeah. And then I was tempted, but not for the price that they were selling it at.
They kind of want a lot for those.
Yeah, but the next time I was in there, it looked like somebody had bought it. So there's others that are interested, but I can still appreciate the attraction to the fountain pens and the inks, especially. I think is what to me is probably the real selling point. That you can have such a variety and mix inks and all that kind of stuff. That's pretty cool.
I think the fountain pen works so well with cursive because of the continuous line that you make, right? Once the capillary action of the pen is drawing the ink onto the paper, that unbroken line of the word draws the ink out so well,
Yeah.
One thing you might try is to get a vintage pen. Like this is a 40-year-old Parker 21. And then you can have that sort of, hey, my grandfather might have written with this pen sort of feel. Same thing with typewriters, that you get that sort of, hey, this is a 40 or 50-year-old machine that's seen a lot of people write with it. So you get a pen with the same sort of history.
The key to all this stuff for me, whether it's your earlier Bob was talking about the motorcycle and riding. So whether it's like the motorcycle or the sports car or the typewriter, or imagine from the way you guys are describing fountain pens, it's all a very visceral experience.
Exactly.
Right? There's a lot to the actual feeling of the process involved, and that's what sucked me into the typewriters. It's a very visceral writing experience like no other, and I really truly enjoy that. And so I think that's the common thread amongst all these things that I'm picking up on.
Absolutely.
So I get it.
I have to imagine now, again, since I'm new to this, that each pen has like a typewriter has a different feel. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay.
Yes.
When they are brand new, all pens from a certain line and make will feel the same. But after they've been in somebody's hands for several years, yes, they do.
Do you find they actually improve as with use? As far as smoothness,
that depends on the quality and the manufacture of the pen.
Exactly that.
What happens with the nib is the little ball on the tip of the nib that has the split in it will develop a wear mark by the friction of the paper. It's like you're burnishing the tip of that, and it sort of begins to wear down to your particular style. Okay. And there are actually people who do nib. They're like nib doctors. Like you can send your nib, the nib whisperer. Yeah, you can send your nib to them, and they have these micro fine cloths, and they can actually repair the tines if they're bent or split apart, and then they can like polish the nib and help it write better, because some fountain pen nibs, especially a lot of the older ones, don't necessarily write perfectly using all types of ink on all types of paper. Certain combinations of nib, ink, and paper work better than others. So like, for instance, some of the inexpensive like copy paper and recycled printer paper, you'll find the ink tends to feather a little bit or spread more. And then the glossier papers, it may not feed properly. You may have skipping because it's the surface tension of the ink onto the paper is not right. And so, you know, like your Clairefontaine and your Rhodia, the French papers are always really good for fountain pens. But yeah, getting the right combination of the nib and the ink and the paper is one part of it, right? And they're not always universal on every kind of writing surface.
And the other thing I discovered a few years ago is don't use a pigment-based ink in fountain pens. Because the pigment granules build up on the sides of the channel, and then plug the pen.
Yeah, like don't use India ink. Never use India ink in a fountain pen.
Yeah.
No, I'm writing it down.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because go ahead.
We do have Adam from An Ink Guy. He's here on YouTube. And again, he has a wonderful, wonderful channel. And one of the features of his videos that I love is, so every video is a different ink. And he'll test it on, I think, like 6 different papers. So you get an idea of how it reacts on the different kinds of papers. So definitely check out his channel, An Ink Guy, right here on YouTube. So fantastic channel again. So yeah.
Well, I appreciate all the tips.
Yeah.
And so now you're going to have to change the name of the site to inkpals.com.
I know. I'll leave that to Adam to set up.
So I was going to briefly change the subject a little bit. I did a video a couple of years ago about correction tape cartridges, and I'm currently using this Tombow brand, retro, whatever. And I was noticing that it spins on my desk like a spin the bottle kind of a thing, really easy. But okay, my kitchen dining room has ceramic tile hard floors. And last week I was typing out in the kitchen, and I had one of these retractable cartridges where the correction tape retracts into it. And it fell off the table and dropped on the floor, and it broke into a million pieces. I mean, it literally disassembled itself. And so this is that cartridge.
Oh, no.
Wow.
Yeah. So now I'm thinking I need to do a video where I take a bunch of different brands of correction tape and drop them on a hard floor and see which ones will stand up to or not. But it's crazy. It was almost like when I was a kid, we used to have like a toy car or something that it was intended to, when it crashed, it would fall into pieces. You remember that, Ted?
Yeah.
I forget what they were called, but
Smash Up Derby.
Yeah, Smash Up Derby. Yeah, but that's what it reminds me of. Yeah. Smash Up Derby correction tape cartridge.
Yeah, like Knock'em Sock'em Robots, except
cars. Yeah. That was, and I was just getting used to that cartridge. I was liking it, and it fell off the table, and bam! It just broke into a million pieces.
Oh no!
All the cartridges are talking about you behind their back now.
Oh, they are. I know.
Don't get on Joe's bad side.
No, see, look at that. Look at that.
Now you have to handcraft a leather case for your correction.
I know. I need a holster. That's right, a leather holster.
There you go.
Now, speaking of correction, does anybody else use the correction strips?
Oh yeah, I do.
Yep.
Where you backspace, slip the strip in between the.
Yep.
Yeah, yeah.
Can
The
you
only-
buy those?
Yeah, you can buy new old stock, and then the Ribbons Unlimited guy or somebody else sells them in sheets, right?
Yes.
And then you can take scissors and cut them out, and then put them in a little box if you want to. But the only time those correction strips don't work really well is if you make the kind of an error where you don't, like if you're shifting, capitalizing a letter on the first letter of a word and you don't hit it properly and it's kind of half shifted, you have to reproduce the error exactly to get it to cover up. Right.
Oh,
So
yeah,
sometimes you make that kind of a misstrike. It's hard to reproduce it to cover it up. And that's why you may need a second alternative like correction tape. Or my friend Kevin has gotten to using the typewriter erasers, the erasing pencil with a brush. And on the right kind of paper, that actually works pretty well too.
Aren't those a sin though?
Well, it's not like using WD-40. It's not that bad of a sin. But you do want to move the carriage over to the side, and erase it off to the side. So
yeah.
Otherwise, you get what I found in a 1970s Smith Granite Classic 12 that I bought. I bought it because it had cursive script on it.
Mm-hmm.
And it was sold as for parts repair because it had a terrible skipping problem. When I took it to pieces, it had literally half-inch thick layer of eraser crumbs all through the entire mechanism.
Wow.
Yes, I've seen that. Yep.
On those tape strips, if you hold it up and you can take like a pencil, take a pencil and if you've got one of those weird strikes, you can get rid of it that way too.
Yeah. Yes.
Very good idea.
Use it just like a letter set.
Yeah.
Yes.
Letter set lettering. Who remembers that?
Yes, that's right.
I'll be honest, I do not remember that, so I've never heard of that one.
Rub-on letters.
Rub-on letters. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Prior to Photoshop.
Oh, okay.
I did a lot of typesetting with letter set. You have to do headlines and stuff with it because typesetting.
Cut and paste was actually cutting and pasting.
Yeah. And so Ted, what was the color of pencil you would use for guidelines? Like a blue? Was it?
Yeah, you had a photosafe blue.
Blue. You write the guidelines and then use your letter set on those lines, get them straight.
Well, straight.
Yeah, straight. So did you do the thing where you start in the middle of the word? Like if you needed to center it, you use the middle. If it's an odd number of letters, you put the middle letter first and build out from it so it's centered. Or did you?
No, we would rub it all on a sheet of paper, cut that sheet of paper out.
Oh, okay. And then just
you cheated.
Well, it's really tough to do that with proportional type.
Yeah.
Where the I is different than the M and the W. So
it's
difficult. You can't just count letters like you can on
That's
a
true.
typewriter.
That's true.
So you do it the easy way.
Very good. Does anybody else have anything to show?
Islands.
I could ask for those that didn't do the typing prompt.
Mm-hmm.
If you were to write a letter to your future self, what would you tell yourself?
Grow the hell up.
That's a good question.
That's no fun.
Too hard on yourself, right?
Yes, that's right.
I'd rather have my future self.
Stuff.
Yeah, I'd rather have my future self write to me and say, "Hey, buy GameStop it."
Yeah.
$15
stock tips.
Right?
Exactly. Maybe that'll be another typing prompt.
I GameStop last year.
Yeah.
You could actually switch it around, Gregory. You could say, write the letter that you'd like to receive from your future self, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That could be interesting as well. And I know May on Facebook, she had a few ideas, so I'm going to add those on there as well. So thank you for those, May.
You're very welcome.
I miss out on all the Facebook stuff.
Oh,
that's one thing I don't have is a Facebook account.
I'm not on Facebook either.
Yeah,
but you can get it all through the Type Pals, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yes.
Pretty much.
Typepals.com. Just look at Ted's screen there.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah,
I was going to say, May, I really like your close-up shot of your borescope there on your. Yeah, that looks really neat.
That's brilliant.
I thought
Absolutely
so too.
brilliant.
You know, I bought it to clean out my dryer vent. You know, there was a bird's nest inside of it, and I needed to be able to see inside of there, and it works great for that. It's on a 20-foot cord, so.
Oh my goodness.
It's a lot more than I need for a typewriter can, but it also makes an interesting typewriter can. But it's only close up. It's macro, so it you know, I can only see close up.
Yeah.
It makes.
That's really fun.
It's very clear. Very clear.
Thanks to Ted. Ted has taught me everything I know about typewriters and video casting.
I know.
Video casting. There you go.
I'll bug him because I wanted to do that with my Smith Premier.
Oh, yeah.
Might as well make it be a visible machine, you know.
Yeah,
there you go. If you have an understrike, you can make it visible by putting a borescope up the middle.
That's what I mean.
And then just put a screen over the top, and then you can see what you're typing.
That would work.
Yeah.
Hey, Anthony, I was going to mention I like your white smock you're wearing with the pen because it looks like a mad scientist lab coat.
That's what I was going for. Every morning when I get up, I look at my clothes and say, what persona do I want today?
The mad typist.
His typing laboratory.
It reminds me of one of those characters on Mystery Science Theater 3000.
Yeah, yeah.
It's actually pink.
It's pink, okay.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
pink.
Not that
I
there's
see.
a-
I was going to make
fountain
that
pen
connection.
always, Dan. You always got to have a fountain pen, Dan.
Put it in the pocket protector.
There you
Whip
go.
it out.
There you
No,
go.
people ask me, what do you do for a living? I just point to the pen. I'm a writer. Writers always carry pens.
I have to ask.
And
have to ask-
a handy tip to remember is if somebody wants to borrow your fountain pen, you take
Keep the
off,
cap.
hand them the pen. Yes.
Yes. Always do that. Dan, this is how you give somebody your pen. And then you keep the cap.
Yeah.
So you never, you just boom. And you know,
And it's gone.
it's going to go together.
You know,
Yeah.
and my mom always said that nobody could borrow her pen. When we were growing up, she had this beautiful fountain pen that had like a gold nib, and she was very, very protective of it.
I could see that. Sure.
And she said if we touched her pen or wrote with it, that it would change the way that the pen writes, that somehow it would ruin it. Have you heard that? Is this true?
Yeah, if you press too hard on the nib, it'll split the nib apart, and then it won't feed properly. Then you have to send it out to the nib doctor to get fixed.
The nib nurse.
Yes, the nib nurse. The nib wife.
There you go.
Somehow I
think I'm going to get that tattoo.
Take home for nibs.
You know what? I forgot to mention. Did y'all get a chance to check out the podcast we did with Joe Van Cleve on Austin?
Yes, we did.
That was fun.
Not yet.
Can you put a link in the chat to that?
Can I?
I love
Let
Yes,
me
you
find a
can.
way to do that.
For somebody.
Thanks, Dan.
It's interesting. Gregory, how do people access the chat from Zoom after the session's ended? You can't. Because I've gone back. I tried to, I wanted, I couldn't figure it out. I tried to go back because Brian Good had left me some messages and I couldn't find them.
You might be able to comment the YouTube copy of it. If there's
It's not the same.
It's
No,
not the
Zoom
same.
chat's
No,
different.
no,
Yeah.
Zoom chat.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's different. Yeah.
I had the same problem. Yeah, that's why I had to ask Joe this week about some ink because I couldn't find any old chat stuff.
Yeah,
So
you
the-
almost got
so
to
the issue-
copy it or I don't.
Yeah, I think there's an option to save a file of the chat here.
That's the issue though, because the Zoom will record
chat,
the meeting, and they'll record the comments, but not if it's 3.5 hours long.
Well, there is
We
a
just
function.
want to talk too much.
If you look at the chat, there's a little file window there, and then there's one with the 3 dots. It says save chat.
Yeah. You can
Okay.
So I don't know what you'd end up with. but
a text file.
You can auto
it'll
save
be a text
chat.
file.
It says here in the Zoom support that in-meeting chat can be saved manually or automatically. Auto save chat will automatically save your in-meeting chat locally to your computer.
Yeah.
So there is an option somewhere.
What if you're on
a couple of meetings ago, I tried to do it, and when I went back to look at the recording, it wasn't there, and it's because they only record, I think, up to 1 hour. So I guess if it goes beyond that, they just don't bother saving it.
You're hooped. Yeah.
So link at the beginning of the show only. Otherwise, forget. Just forget. Yeah. Well, we could put some of them on the Type Pals page, maybe, but I know that's a lot of work for you, so never mind. I was just thinking, like,
make it work. Make it work.
Be square.
It's like I missed out on all of like Ted Monk's wedding pictures and stuff I really wanted to see, and like all those things I could never go back and get. There are all these cool links.
And go back and get them.
Wait, somebody married Ted?
Google.
That was the nice
Ted had
thing.
like a typewriter typewriter cake or something at his wedding, and
Yeah.
I missed
that was
it.
That was the nice thing about StreamYard. It was seamless.
Yeah.
The comments would be right here on the screen. So Zoom really fails at that, but they succeed with being reliable.
Yeah.
There you go. I just put it
There
up in
it
the chat
is.
again.
Wait,
There you go.
I can't see because I'm on a phone. So
So I tap on it and
I'm
go
on a phone too.
to
Hit chat.
I put the link. I put the link for my interview thing on pot from the Austin Typewriter Inc. just now on the chat. So
thank you,
we had
Joe.
someone new.
a great one. I
I was
like
having
that.
too much fun trying to find it. That's great.
Let me see if I
Well
can.
done, Joe. Thank you.
Sarah, are you trying to find the chat?
Wait, what?
Are you trying to find this chat, Sarah?
I'm trying. It's okay. Don't mind me. I'm just a mess. I can't figure things out. I'm trying to find like the little comment area, whatever.
you want
hit
to
more.
go to laptop
Hit
or
more.
the tablet?
Hit more on the bottom.
Oh, I'm on a
right.
stupid phone. I'm on my.
Well, so am I. So am I, Sarah, and we both have iPhones.
All right. Maybe you can help me later. I'm
Sure.
broken. Okay.
Text each other in chat.
Yeah, we'll talk later. I think I've got like my pictures are making me look like I have cat ears. Okay, never mind. Just
See that? I want to see that.
I got problems. Sorry, guys.
We've all got problems.
Yeah, the Zoom app on the iPhone leaves a lot to be desired. It's pretty bad actually.
Oh, nice, Ted.
Nice.
I don't know if anybody's seen these before. I got this in the 80s. Like a ruler with lettering templates.
Oh my God!
Yeah.
When I was in school.
Remember those?
Yep.
Yeah.
I had that in my Trapper Keeper.
Yep.
If you remember those.
I just found mine and I was like, oh, I remember that. I'm gonna have to use that in a timecast or something.
One quick question. Is there any way of getting hold of a member who was on last week that I don't see this week?
You remember the name?
Sean at YYC Typewriters.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see.
I thought I'd talk to him on Kijiji, but it was YEG Typewriters who I talked to, not YYC Typewriters.
Oh.
Okay, I see his Instagram and his Reddit.
Maybe if you share his Instagram, Ted.
Yeah, I can do that. Let's see.
Because that would be a good, because you can do direct messages on Instagram, so that would be great.
I don't have Instagram.
Oh,
I don't
well,
think so. Anyway.
Here's a useless link for you.
He's looking for email, probably.
Don't go there, William. It's
I have his email address, but I can't give it out. But what you can do, let's do it this way.
What I did is
to you, Greg.
I
Let's do it
signed
that
up.
way.
Email to you. Yeah.
Yeah. Send me an email at gregory@poortypist.com. Gregory@poortypist.com. And I will forward it to him.
Okay.
And then I'm sure he'll reply and get back to you. But yeah, let's do it that way. Yeah.
Got it.
Oh,
Thank you.
Oh, here's the
Very
marriage.
good.
Okay, cool.
Very good.
Let me see here. Oh,
Here we
cute.
are hunting him down on the internet.
Oh, wow. Look at that. Oh, fun.
I think I sent him an email the other day, and he didn't get back to me, so I don't know.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, like probably like other Albertans, he's stuck in the middle of winter, like I'm here. So
yeah,
He's
yeah.
Canadian. He must be covered in snow.
Yeah.
Friday evening, we went down to minus 18 Celsius, which is about 0 Fahrenheit. So I had the wood stove lit down in the basement there.
It's cute. Oh, look at your pretty wife. Wow, that's nice. Sorry.
Sarah's stalking him now.
I know.
No, I'm not. I was just looking at his picture of his wedding.
Oh, it's my wedding. Okay. That's
yeah,
right.
the Ted Monk. I don't know who else. I don't
She's
know
stalking you, Ted.
Oh, yeah.
So I was going to say there is a SeanPetrie.com/typewriters, Sean Petrie website. And I don't know if that's the same Sean, but it's Sean Petrie at Gmail. He has a public website, I think, if that's the same guy.
That Sean was from Calgary because YYG is the airport, or YYC is the
airport code.
Airport for Calgary.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah.
So if that guy's in Calgary, that's your man.
There you go.
There's only one guy who's into typewriters in Calgary, I'm sure.
Oh, there's a few of them.
Nothing else to do there. I used to live there.
Oh.
Yeah. I say, if I lived in Lethbridge, I would call myself YQL typewriters.
There you go.
Very good. So,
Curry, where are you from again?
Who, me?
I'm from Waterloo region. So I actually I worked at the region of Waterloo International Airport for 13 and a half years.
So you know all this.
That's YKF.
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 Oh, cool.
And then I worked at Toronto Pearson for 3.5. And of course, that's YYZ.
YYZ.
Any Rush fan knows YYZ.
Wow. Someone just said
2112,
like,
buddy. 2112.
Conversation on front.
I live at YQM.
Moncton.
YQM?
Yeah.
I live in Delaware, the first state. So our airport is 001.
Oh, wow.
So I got to tell you, since we have a number of Canadians, one of the people in my life that was very influential in terms of friendship and inspiration and also typewriters was a gentleman that I came to know first when I was working at a TV repair shop here in Albuquerque. His name was C.W. Smith, and he hailed from Spring Hill, Nova Scotia. He was a World War II vet, and he would work for the DOT after the war. He was a radio operator, but he made a whole number of handmade books with typewritten stories, hand typed with portable typewriters. And I have a whole series of these books that he wrote. And a lot of it is stories from his growing up years or from his experiences when he was in Goose Bay, Labrador in the war. But also he wrote a lot of funny stuff. Like this book is called Trivia from Bolivia. And it's just a lot of interesting, funny stories and characters that he's written. But all of this is like handmade books. Some of these are kind of falling apart. The glue is getting weak, but he passed away a few years ago. Yeah, he passed away a few years ago in Canada. He lived in Calgary, I think, perhaps. But he lived down here in the States for years. And I still have all his writings. And I'm not really sure what I'm going to do with them. Maybe eventually I might just try to get them scanned and self-published, in memory of him. So
yeah,
that'd be a nice tribute, Joe.
Yep.
Yeah.
Very
good. Talking about Goose Bay there, I remember my stepfather, who was a pilot for British Overseas Air Corporation. His name was Captain Ernest Leslie Gosling. And he was telling me that once he had to make a call, this is Captain Gosling requesting landing at Goose Bay, alternate Gander.
Yes. Yep.
So this is probably a good opportunity for me to show. Let's see. Okay, there we go. So I'm opening a whole can of worms here.
A whole can.
Twofold, actually, twofold.
That's different from the rest of the morning. How?
I know, huh?
A 6-pack of worms.
Yeah, there you go.
6-pack of worms.
First of all, I want to show you one of my favorite fountain pens. This is the D-like Element all brass pen.
Yeah.
And you won't be able to see it, but it has a bent nib. It's turned up at the end.
Mm-hmm.
So even though the nib is extra fine, it actually writes like a medium.
Yeah.
But my point of showing this is because one use I'm going to have for my fountain pens is, and we'll see how this goes, but
ooh,
there we go.
I bought a book on Greg's shorthand.
Oh, nice.
And it's too bad Barbara's not here, but because I know she kept asking about it. But
named after you, apparently.
Yes, yes.
It's like
Just a typo, but you know.
Yeah.
And well, first of all, let me show you some of this. It is absolutely crazy. Let's see if I can.
It's like.
It is crazy.
Yeah. Oh my, yeah.
Yeah.
Each character creates a sound as opposed to being a string of letters.
Yes, yes. And you know, I don't expect to become proficient. I just want to do it as a fun thing to do with the fountain pens.
That's
but
fun.
the other can I'm opening is
whoop ass. Whoop ass?
Yeah.
Kind of whoop ass.
Yeah.
Six pack.
Here it comes. He's been waiting.
So on Shop Goodwill, I won my first shorthand typewriter.
What?
So it's
You
on
mean
the way.
You mean the thing that they use in court reporting, or something different?
Yes.
I saw that.
Stenograph.
Stenographer.
Yeah.
Stenography or whatever.
Stenograph or stenotype.
It's like playing chords. You do different combinations of sounds and letters.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Now, that I think I can pick up more easily, I think, than this, because this, not only do you have to know the shapes or the movements of each phonetic sound, but you have to know how to link them together. Whereas on the stenograph, as long as you know where those keys are, if you press them all at the same time, it's just going to put them on the paper for you. So I think that I can pick up a little more easily.
You know, this is weird that you mention it, because just this morning when I was waking up, I was thinking about a stenograph machine and wondering if they made rolls of paper for them. I mean, I'm assuming in a courtroom they have rolls.
Yeah.
And do they still sell that paper, either new or new old stock?
My understanding, at least now they have a computerized one that goes straight to the computer. Because I did look this up as kind of a weird career question. Like, is this something I could do? And it looks like it would take, a year or two of training, and you have to pay like thousands of dollars for the machine and the whole business. But I remember when I was a kid, we went to court for a custody thing that my parents were in, and they did have rolls of paper. They had, and it was like spooling around, just like you talk about, Joe. So I believe that they do have that. And then they would just take these long things and put them into an actual typewritten document. I'm sure
do we need to vote on a backup host in case Gregory drives himself crazy in this process? I'm scared we're never going to see him again after this.
I'm proposing that Gregory has to do a live transcript of the meeting.
Oh my goodness.
There you go.
Hey, William
It's
has
good to have
one.
goals. It's good to have goals.
That's right. That's right.
William, do you know how to use it, William?
No. No, it's a language all unto its own.
It really is, yeah.
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 And with anything I've found out, it takes up to 3 years to professionally learn the language of this. But again, these are all tied in with typewriter technology.
Mm-hmm.
You record the speech as it's being spoken, then you transcribe that onto a transcribe. Is that my word? Onto a onto a typewritten document.
Right.
Yeah.
The challenge transcribing live is that people talk quickly and they do really weird things with their speech that are unexpected, and then multiple people talk at once.
Yes.
So it's a lot harder to just straight up type the words, you know, in real time. You can do it on a tape and go back and forward like I would do in my career, but when you are sitting in a courtroom, for example, even with people being polite and taking their time, they'll speak too quickly or whatever it is, and then, you know, the stenographer will have to say, please repeat, please slow down, you know.
I was watching a video last night of an interview of Elon Musk, and they had this, you know, transcript running across the video, and it was so badly transcribed. And he talks, Elon Musk talks hesitantly anyway. He just breaks up his sentences, interrupts himself, and restarts. And so it's some people are difficult.
Yeah. I would be one of the difficult ones.
I know. I always keep the captions on and for basically every show, and it drives me crazy when things are really poorly transcribed.
Yeah. But when you get the closed captioning, that's what they're using. They're using a stenotype machine. Or stenograph. I do have to say, I've been watching a lot of videos on it, and there's one channel where this girl's actually in school for it. She's like 1 year in, and she talked about how hard it is, especially once you get to the point where you know it, but you're trying to get your speed up, because she's at 200 words per minute, and I guess the bare minimum for professional level is 225 words per minute.
Wow.
Right.
So she's struggling trying to get up to that speed, but that's incredible. 225 words per minute. That's
really
just amazing.
That fast.
I can't even think that fast.
Yeah, it's not the same though as typing at all, because they're giving, what they mean by words is they mean like little chunks of words. It's not, so you would take like 100 words per minute if you would type normally, and then it's really going to be like a half or a third of that word, right? So she does have to be faster, but what she's putting down is representing more words per minute. Does that make sense? They're simple.
Yeah, since it's abbreviated and short.
Right.
It's more like 225 syllables per minute, right? More
Yeah.
like that. Yeah.
That's about right. Yeah, that's a good way of saying it for sure. I have a can of words here.
May you might be that fast by the time you finish that entire mug of coffee. I'm wondering how many gallons that thing holds.
It holds. I have a small coffee pot that holds 24 ounces of water, and this is a 24-ounce cup. So basically a Starbucks grande, I guess.
Yeah.
I can't let.
But I do make coffee a little bit weaker. I don't make it very strong, and add a splash of milk to it too.
Okay. I make mine strong, almost like mud.
Yes.
Yeah.
So now we know that next week's assignment, the shopping list will have to be done in fountain pen.
Yes.
And in shorthand.
In shorthand.
Oh boy. That's right.
I'm out.
That's right.
I'm out.
John, what kind of typewriter do you have there?
Oh, it's just a Empire Aristocrat.
Oh yeah.
It's the Hermes baby.
Hermes baby, yeah, nice.
It's the Empire Aristocrat was a licensed copy of the Hermes made by British typewriters.
Yeah.
A lot of people say it's a clone. No, it's not a clone. It was a licensed copy.
I was using it because of the little prompt for the pen to do the vertical lining from your video, Joe.
Oh yeah.
Because what I do is when I deliver mail, I've got all my mail sorted, and I also have parcels in the back of the truck. So I need a list for my parcels that I keep in front of my steering wheel. So I this sheet will run me 4 days. So it goes like that, one side, the other behind by the steering wheel. So normally when I would put the lines, I would use just a straight edge, but then I found that after the video, I thought, oh, it's so easy just to do it on this. So.
Well, if you could, now you can buy typewriters and write them off as a business expense.
Yes.
So, do you happen to know what year your Aristocrat is?
I believe 1951.
Okay.
Yeah.
I noticed it has the red control keys. I know it didn't come out until I want to say 52.
Oh, actually, yeah. I'm sorry, it might be 58 for some reason.
Do you know?
There might be a database.
Find the serial number on that one.
If there was only a database.
Yes, I do have it on the database. Let me check.
Okay. Yeah.
I was actually very, very close. Well, technically, I got a job. This was years ago now. I got a job with the post office, but it was a temporary position. And my wife basically said, I don't know that we can risk that, because at the time I was working at a financial company, and I was absolutely miserable there. So I was excited about the post office job, but it wasn't a guaranteed job, for long term. But yeah, I was kind of disappointed because it left me in this job I was miserable in. But now I'm at the library, so it all worked out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have a can of worms with lots of problems.
Oh.
Smith Corner Zephyr. The Smith Corner Zephyr.
It's cool, isn't it? But whoever had it before, whoever had it before did some weird stuff to it. As you can see, it's got a problem where this paper tray thing is like completely coming out. It's like all loose and stuff.
I think that's how it shifts, though, doesn't it? It's a carriage shift machine.
No, it's actually been removed.
Oh, I can see that. Yeah. Ooh, yeah.
And the drawband is gone, and it's missing a thing. I thought I could fix it, and then I sort of realized I might be a little bit in over my head with this one. So it's kind of.
That's where you need a second one just to compare with, right?
I have one just like it. I wish we were closer and you could look at it, but mine skips a lot.
Wow.
That's the only issue it has, is everything's perfect except for this.
Maybe, May, you can take some pictures underneath the carriage for her, and maybe that might help her figure out how things go together.
Yeah,
Sarah, what's the serial number of your machine?
I'll find out for you. Let me figure out where it's.
Okay, look at an inside angle in between the end keys. No, the serial number's not there.
Between the end keys.
Almost found it there.
You mean you said behind this, next to the end keys, like?
Okay,
over here?
look where you look. Yes, yep, on the inside of the frame.
All right. It's so dark in here. Hold on. Let me see what I mean. I see what you mean. Yep. Okay, hold on. Let me see if I can find something bright enough to illuminate it.
Your smile.
Oh,
that was nice.
Or May's glasses.
Thank you. Oh boy. You guys are so silly. Okay. It's 28777.
287.
Yes, 28777. And I think that I just try to tell myself a story that this was in the war, because look, isn't that cool?
Oh, wow. Oh yes.
Yeah.
Very possible.
So I'm just gonna say this took some shrapnel, and that's why it's not working.
Yeah.
I don't know how old it is, but it's a neat thing. It really is. Of course, the drawband is all kablooey, There's all kinds of issues. Lots of issues with this one. It's too bad, because I would love to have something that has this nice lightweight metal, like the Hermes Baby or the Empire Aristocrat or whatever. I mean, those are kind of my dream machines. I pretty much feel like I've got everything else I need, but it would be fun to have one that works, but this one is just really got that problem. So anyway, that's all I had to say about that.
Could I take a closer look at the right-hand end of the carriage?
Right-hand end. Yep. Like this way?
No, on the other side.
My other right?
Now, I'm wondering if the see the small lever that's right up against the. Try flipping that. Oh, okay, not that one then.
Good one.
Because those do have a paper release on them.
Yeah, this is missing stuff. See, it's missing the what is it? The carriage return lever and all that stuff. It's missing. So
yeah,
it's a little tab. It's just a little tiny tab. That's all it is. It's
two tabs that you squeeze together.
Yeah.
The carriage release is very tiny.
And maybe I should send May to fix it.
Hang on.
Yeah.
I don't know. This one was already.
Does it have the rack gear, the tooth rack gear for the escapement?
I believe.
Underneath the.
I believe so. Hold on.
Okay. Underneath the carriage.
There's this thing where you can.
Yeah, it looks like the rack gear's there. Yeah.
It's all right, guys. This one's probably, it just needs a good Christian burial. That's about it.
It's a parts machine, at least.
Parts machine.
Yeah.
I used to say. Yeah, I know. It's too bad because it would be sure fun to use. But May says they skipped, so maybe I'm going to decide I don't care anymore.
Well, a lot of people have them and they work perfectly. I think it's just the condition of how they were cared for over the years.
Yeah, I mean,
this one, mine has a chipped platen too, so I would have to replace the platen eventually or find a parts machine.
Oh yeah.
But if they work well, they work great. They're awesome little ultra portables.
Yeah.
You can slip one into your purse and sneak a typewriter in pretty much anywhere.
I don't think you've seen my purse. It's pretty tiny, but yeah. That's my letter to myself is I will tell myself someday that a larger home it's not equivalent to a larger purse. You don't put more stuff in. Just because you get a bigger home someday doesn't mean that you get to put more things in it.
Good luck with that.
That's my problem with purses. I always put more stuff in there.
I'm still trying to find stuff and unpack.
And the thing is, I'm fine with getting rid of things. It's just that I forget what I have, and then I think, oh, what if I need such and so? What if I need this emergency tool for such?
Folks, I'm going to sign off. So I just want to say so long, and Joe, I'm working on an intro for your Q&A, and I'll send that out to you for your review and approval.
Sure.
And then I'll get your content up on the site.
All right. Thank you. It's a good project you're doing. Thank you.
Yeah, it's proven to be very informative and entertaining. So I'm having a good time with it.
Good. Excellent.
Good talking with you.
Thank you so much, Bill.
Yeah. Nice
seeing you,
Bill.
See you
Thanks,
next
Bill.
time around.
Bill, as always.
Yeah.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Till next week.
So, Sarah, the control I was talking about was this one right here. This is your.
Oh, there we go.
Oh, there you go. This one right here.
That one? Okay, yeah.
That's your paper release.
Right. That seems to be functioning fine. The actual paper table is like unscrewed and falling down. Yeah. And in addition to that, there's a broken knob on the left-hand side, and some other things are missing that need to be there. So if you do this, it's like it's hanging on to not a whole lot. It's kablooey.
Yep.
Anybody want it?
I might actually as a parts. If it has a good platen,
there you go.
I might want that.
No. I don't think the platen's any better than anything else. I mean, the truth with platens, let's face it, if they're
1930s, yeah.
If they're 50 years old, they're no good. You just need a new platen. But I mean, I could give you this to take the platen out of, but I don't think that it would be any better than what you probably already have. See, it's just
Does it have chips and gouges in it as well?
Oh, does it?
Does
yours
yours?
have
Yeah,
mine?
mine has some cracks, a few cracks and little gouges and chips.
Yeah.
Oh,
It still types, you know. If you
if
put
you
a
want,
couple sheets of paper, that helps.
if mine doesn't have any cracks, so if you want it, send me your address and I'll see if I can ship it to you.
Is yours, just for interest, is yours a 1Y or a 1Z prefix?
I don't know.
I don't remember.
Y's or Z's in there. All I saw was numbers. Maybe I'm missing something here.
The prefix is further in, is further deeper in than the number.
All right.
Mine here is 1Z4900, 4900.
All right, I'll do some looking here.
I don't want to. That's all.
William, I've got a 1Z here as well. It's 1Z 64166.
Okay.
Oh yeah. 1Z. I've got 1Z. 1Z. 28777.
Okay, cool.
Man, they really hide it in this one.
Yes, they do. They do.
Don't they know we need to look for that later? I mean, they're.
When someone has one of those on eBay, that's why I've taken a picture of this one, and I say, could you find the serial number of yours? Here's a picture of mine as to where you'll find it. And even at that, some people have trouble finding the serial number.
Wow.
We could play Typewriter poker.
That's right.
This one here is another project one, which has to be. I might look at getting to it this summer. Thing is with me, with the solvents I use to clean the machines, they're pretty smelly, so I only like doing that outside, and that works best if I can do it in warm weather as opposed to in the middle of winter.
Yeah.
So
Intro, how was dinner?
What is it again?
No, my dinner was perfect.
Excellent.
in all that time, I made a roast with chicken and vegetables and sweet potato, garlic, and everything. And it was nice.
All out this
your
time.
house, Intro.
Oh, excuse me?
I said we are all coming over to your house later.
Yeah, sure. You're all welcome.
So, Endo, do you mind me asking where you're from or where you're at?
I live in the south of the Netherlands, in Den Bosch.
Okay.
So I live pretty close to Eindhoven.
Eindhoven, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
My wife's parents came from Arnhem.
Oh yeah, I live there close by too, in Zutphen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, but the Netherlands are very small.
Yes.
The longest distance you can drive is 3 hours.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
And that gets you 30 miles.
Depending on how slow you drive.
Yeah.
And yes.
I just got a typewriter from the Netherlands.
Oh, really?
Oh.
I was testing it out, and a couple of the keys weren't getting the carriage to move, and I thought, oh man, this is really weird. But it was the umlaut and the caret. So it's not supposed to move.
Yeah.
All right. Well, how much were the sending costs?
It was about $100.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I'm looking in ways to send cheaper, but I don't think that's doable.
Yeah, it was. It needs some work, so it was pretty low cost on the unit itself. So the shipping was actually more than the typewriter.
Oh yeah. I bought a couple of. Yeah, go ahead.
It's an old torpedo model, but it's Senior Writer brand, but it was out of the torpedo factory. And so they go for kind of a lot in the US right now. So, and I think I just like to use it if I can shape it up.
Yeah, I'm looking into, like I said, into ways to make it cheaper to send them, because I'm building a website for myself and I was thinking about putting some machines up there for sale or to trade or whatever. But the shipping costs are way too high.
Yeah.
So
even if you go surface mail, it takes 6 weeks and still charge you a lot.
Yeah. Well,
maybe we could get the narco cartels to smuggle them for us.
Well, if you could send a bunch in once, it will save some.
Yeah.
But
doesn't
it's an interesting subject because there are like a lot of European machines that are available that are rare in the United States and vice versa.
Yes.
So that could be interesting to get a sort of trade going that we can help each other. I'm looking for some machines that are very hard to find here and vice versa.
Oh, I know that I work with a lot of military antiques people, and a lot of times they'll just take a shipping crate to Germany and fill it up full of stuff and have it shipped back. And we're talking like a big shipping crate, and
so you can
that'll be their stock for the next year.
Yeah.
If you could find someone who just basically has a ton of typewriters in Germany or Netherlands, and want to sell them in the United States, and maybe want to bring some American machines back to, I mean, it'd be quite an investment, but if you could do it, you would save tons and tons of money on shipping.
Yep.
So I was looking at eBay. I don't know how it works. I don't know anything about it, but they have a global shipping program. So I'm assuming there's some sort of discount involved there, but you might look into that.
Yeah. Like the May and Sarah had a Sapphire. Those are rare here. I'm looking for one for like 2 years now, and I've seen only 1 or 2. The other ones are all on eBay, and even in the US, they're not that expensive, but shipping is more like $100. So, yeah.
Yeah. I know the problem on eBay is you have a lot of the sellers that are, building or putting profit into the shipping fee. Yeah, because they're trying to get out of paying some fees to eBay. So if you put it in the shipping, then they won't charge you on that.
Yep.
Yeah. The same goes to like instance to get a platen to JJ Short. Well, I have to send like 10 in once, but then still it's expensive.
Yep. There is a place in the Netherlands that does platen renewing. I was talking with one person, I forget who it was, on Type Talk, and they were saying that that although the platen recovery cost is much less, to ship one from here over to the Netherlands and back again will work out to the same as shipping it to JJ Short and paying more for the actual work.
Yeah, I've discovered that same company just like a couple of weeks ago because I was mailing with JJ Short, but it's a rubber factory or something, and they do something, but I couldn't find much information, but it's interesting.
Yeah.
But
speaking of rubber,
I
have gifts for Joe.
Oh boy.
Complete rubber replacement kit for SM3.
Oh, yay.
And
Thank you.
for Hermes 3000. I hope you like green.
Yes, I do.
Nice.
Right here.
Those will be coming in the mail.
Oh, fantastic. Thank you.
I'll have to have you do a review of them.
Yes, I will do a review.
Although
Payola.
I probably won't actually be selling them. I'll just be, since they're kind of handcrafty and it takes a lot of time to make them.
Yeah.
But I might end up just doing like gift exchange deals.
Sure.
There you go.
So, I send you something, maybe you send me something.
Yes.
There you go. Yeah. Yeah.
Can you make feet for the Underwood number 5?
No, I don't have good ones for that. I did do feet for my little Underwood 3-bank here, but those are really difficult to build because they have shoulder screws. And I did make a set But it took me a single mold that I had to do 4 times to make a set of 4 feet, and then the mold broke. So,
I don't know if the typewriter guy in England sells feet for the Underwood 5.
Lucas.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Man, he called himself.
Typewriter man, I think he calls himself. Yeah.
Yep.
All right, I can remember that and look him up.
I have a question.
Yeah.
I have a typewriter that has what I've been told it's either a Dutch or Norwegian keyboard, and how the heck would I know? Let's see if I can show it to you.
If it has the IJ character, that's very telling that it's Dutch.
Oh.
If it has the angstrom over the A, that's very telling that it's Norwegian.
Oh, okay. It has the angstrom over the A, but no IJ. Okay.
So, but Endo would probably know more about the Dutch keyboard than I do.
It has the AE together, both an upper and a lowercase.
Yep.
Well, it's we the Netherlands, we Dutch, we just have regular QWERTY keyboards. The Y is a Greek Y, as we say, Epsilon. That's normal. On a lot of German machines, you see the Epsilon and you see a I and a J as a Y.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
But that's usually a quartz.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, I was curious as to what this was because it had these funky symbols on it, and the
Can you show me? Can you show? It has a $sign, and can you show me the top row?
That is the top row. The AE. There is. Oh yeah, there is a $sign.
Slash round brackets. It's got the /0. I see. I noticed that.
What is the /0?
Yeah, that is probably like Danish or it's we say but that's not Dutch.
Oh, okay.
That's
Well,
like
what is the
Scandinavian.
purpose of the /0? As a zero?
That's a letter.
Yeah, it's a Scandinavian letter.
Yeah,
it's a Scandinavian letter.
Oh.
The only time when a /0 was not a letter was on the military Morse typewriters, where the 0 was slashed to differentiate from the letter O.
Yeah.
Oh.
I guess the 0 was then more like a not as round as an O.
Well, the 0 on here is basically your capital O. So they're
Scandinavian.
I'm sorry.
It's Scandinavian.
Oh, okay. Well, that's good to know. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
All right.
We talk about feet for typewriters. I actually made some feet for this Underwood out of some conveyor belting. You can see them.
Yeah.
There you go. I'll hold it still long enough. 2 layers cut into donuts, glued together with Loctite Super Black Max adhesive, and they work just fine.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Nice.
Not high tech, but it works.
You need to get into mold making like Ted.
Please repeat.
He said mold. You need to get into mold making.
Yeah.
Although, molds are especially useful for really strangely shaped feats like Groma Colibris and the things like the Hermes and the Olympia SM3. But a lot of feet you can just take furniture.
That's true.
And do that.
That's true.
There's a lot of things you can do to take care of the rubber underneath, as they say.
So Ted, does anybody still own patents at all in typewriters?
I would imagine most of them are expired by now. It's just commercially unfeasible for anybody to take advantage of that, I guess.
Yeah.
How many of these are you going to sell is the question. And do you want to ramp up production for, say Groma Colibri feet where you're going to sell maybe 50, maybe 100. It's really difficult to make that work business wise.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I think handcrafting is going to end up being a lot of your answer in those situations.
But if Elon Musk comes along and wants to, manufacture typewriters and sell them.
Yeah, if you want a $20,000 typewriter, I guess that's.
I wish he would.
Well, I think that the only typewriters that are being made now are the ones made in China and that are being sold as Royals or the Wheel Memory Keepers. One handy thing though, if you have an IBM Olympia V12 that has a rock hard platen, and you can find a Wheel Memory Keepers typewriter being sold for parts or restoration, the platen knobs come out, lift the platen, drops right into B12. Perfect fit.
Nice.
Perfect fit.
Wow.
Excellent.
So make note.
Well, they are both Nakajimas, so there is that.
Yeah.
Probably most of the Nakajimas of that size will kind of interchange parts.
Yeah.
Very possibly. Say the platen on the B12 that I got wouldn't even read on my Durameter, just reads 100. The platen from the memory keeper is actually reading at 86. So it's quite a soft platen. I guess that's because it has the plastic type slugs.
Oh.
Well, and then you can kind of justify the cost of buying a We Are Memory Keepers, even used.
When you get it for $23 plus $15 shipping to my pickup point in the States, and that's cheaper than just shipping one way for the platen to JG Short.
That's true.
Yeah,
it is.
So there's an option,
Yeah.
And well, guys, I'm going to go, but
okay.
Oh, Joe.
Well, thank you so much, Joe.
Thank you. I got a sunny day outside. I don't want to miss it.
I know.
Take some pictures.
Yes. You guys take it easy. It's good. Good. Thank you. Looking forward to the next one too. Great seeing all you guys. And next week. Okay. Bye-bye.
All right. Bye.
Bye, Joe.
Bye-bye.
Hi, Joe.
Bye.
Have to go shovel.
Auf Wiedersehen. Au revoir. Adios.
Live long and prosper.
So, May, what is the correct response to that?
To
live long and prosper.
I think it's just there is
another
no
hand signal. Is live long and prosper, and the correct response is peace and long life.
There you
peace
go.
and long life. Okay.
Oh, huh. There was
Got some Trekkies in here.
Yeah, I know. I'm a Whovian, so I like Doctor Who.
Sorry, I was editing my entry in the TWDB.
Oh, okay.
For
Excellent.
that Smith Premier, I took the Dutch off my notation. I put Scandinavian keyboard.
So if you are Whovian, who is the first actor you remember as being Doctor Who?
The first one I remember was Tom Baker.
Yep.
Okay, so
it's our time.
Yeah.
I'm old enough to just remember John William Hartnell and John Pertwee. Yes.
Oh, Pertwee. Yes, number 3.
Yes.
Very good.
Nice fellow.
Yeah.
He had the Who-mobile, which was that yellow convertible.
Well, actually, there were 2. Then he had the one that was more like a hover car.
Oh, okay.
They called it, yeah.
Later episodes.
So where did he park those in the TARDIS?
I know, huh?
How did he get them out the door?
I think most of the time the third Doctor was
on Earth.
Yeah,
he was on Earth.
He was not permitted to leave Earth, or was kept from leaving Earth, something like that. So.
So we got a flat in the garage,
Yeah.
Settle down a little. A lot of dogs.
Yeah. Does anybody else have? Well, I saw. Who did I see typing? I saw Joao typing. What were you typing? Anything in particular?
Well, just my regular journal.
Oh, okay.
Typing a little bit of what we were talking about. Yeah.
Okay.
Just using my first typewriter. I've shown this before.
Yes.
Yes, it's beautiful.
Because
Nakajima.
Perfect Valentine's typewriter.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Hey Ted.
It's flawless action. I didn't have to clean the ribbon spools thing to get a lighter touch, like Joe says. Because when I first got it, the touch control didn't do a thing. But I cleaned it deeper, and now it has a light touch. Just has a clanky metallic sound, but flawless machine otherwise.
Excellent. Excellent.
You said it's
I have to really thank you thank you for your lesson on metals last week.
My pleasure.
That was
really
really interesting.
Yeah.
Glad you liked it.
Yes.
Yeah, he's our resident expert on metals.
It's kind of a recurring section of
it. Ask about your dating, Diane, of that.
I'm sorry.
Of that Smith Premier.
Yeah, I was curious. How often do you? Or I have that serial numbers before anything that's listed for that model, and I was just curious. I had put 1895 on it, just because 1896. I don't know. This is the serial number is 408.
Yeah, so that's really early. It would probably be 95 or 96. I'm not really sure because our numbers that far back are not exactly precise. They just note that it's 680 is 1896. So it's probably as good a guess as anything.
Oh, okay.
It's correct enough that I'm not going to mess with it.
Oh, well, no, I was just curious because I'm like, okay, am I putting the right number in? Or I mean,
it's good enough. You did good.
I see Maze typing also.
Yes, always.
Yeah, that was
I can't stop
an
typing.
estate rescue.
That's a nice pickup.
Definitely.
That's a very early serial number on that. So.
Yeah, I got 3 of them out. I got 3 Smith Premiers out of that estate. It was one of these. It was not as big as Herman's, but it was basically a hoarder house. And I did not see it in that state. I only heard the description from the daughter of the person who passed away, and she said, there was clothes everywhere, and then we got the clothes out there, and oh my God, there's all these typewriters we didn't know about. I mean. Basement full, and through a few through like 3 or 4 other people, we did actually get that mostly cleaned out. But yeah, I got a 3, a 2, and a 4 out of there.
Well, it was a good pickup.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm looking at it, and if this is the condition you got it in, I'd have to say it was lucky you had a whole bunch of clothes piled on top of it. Certainly protected it pretty well.
Yeah, I haven't cleaned it up yet. I haven't gotten that far. I might have cleaned the keys. I cleaned the keys enough that they weren't that dirty, but that's as far as I've gotten with it.
Well, I'd have to say that's in pretty good condition based on what I'm seeing. So you got a good deal. You win the internet.
I'll win the internet when I return the piece off of Herman Smith Premier 6 to him, but unfortunately I can't get to him. So, because he wants it put back on the machine, because it's like I borrowed it in 2019 so I could have a new piece from mine made, because mine was broken, and it's basically the carriage release lever. Not the lever, the part that actually lifted it such that I could just slide it back and forth. So I did, although it took a combination of the one that Herman had and the one off of my 3, because the one Herman had wasn't quite right. I don't know what it is about these old machines, but
well, Herman, he's not quite right. So
Well, but anyway, it took a combination of the piece I borrowed from him and then the same piece off of my Model 3.
Mm-hmm.
And I basically put them together and this, I think Doug Williams, I think he was able to make me a piece based on the two. I had to ship all three pieces to him, and he actually was able to make a piece. It's like the top has to be this length and the bottom has to be this length, and it was really weird, but he got the picture. And
yeah, a lot of these machines were hand fitted back in the 1800s.
Oh, you're not kidding.
Yeah, you're kind of hit and miss and kind of handcrafty with those parts.
Now, if I could just get the ribbon mechanism sorted out, I swear they hate me. they do. It's like, yeah, I can type, but then the ribbon mechanism doesn't want to go. And I don't know if it's because I didn't like tear it apart and totally clean it, or I just don't know enough about it. And I can't corner the person who does at a decent hour of the day that I can actually focus on that.
There's always carbon paper.
Well, yeah, but that's no fun.
You don't want to do it the easy way. You want to do it the hard way.
No, I want to do it the right way.
There you go. Running into my microphone there.
Thanks.
No problem.
Okay, I gotta go.
Indro,
I
see you later, man.
gotta head out too. I got his lunch.
See you next week.
Have a nice bedtime.
Good to see you, Intro.
Ciao. Ciao.
I gotta scoot too, guys. I appreciate everything, all the help and tips today.
All right.
Excellent. Thank you, Dan.
So
All right, we'll see you
fun.
next week.
Have a good one.
See you next time.
Take care. Bye.
Nice chatting. As
Bye.
always.
You too.
I love this typewriter club. I mean,
Oh, now we're back to a Brady Bunch.
Yeah.
it's amazing.
I want to
Brady
try that
Bunch.
same
Met
video
each
trick
other.
that May did, so I might talk to you, Ted, separate offline about that. So.
Oh, talk to May. She actually does it in what operating system are you using, May?
I'm in Windows.
Okay.
just regular
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm only going to
and
be
then I've
able
got
to tell you how to
Android.
do it in Linux. So
Oh, okay. Well, I'll
Listen.
talk to May about it because
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have one of those thingamajigs, those little cameras, and I can get up in there. But don't know if I can get far enough to see what I'm typing. That's the thing. It might actually hit the camera.
well, it looks like she's just got it stuck to the ribbon cover and kind of curled over and pointed straight at the type. So.
Actually,
Yeah.
I'm using you want to see my setup? I'm using
Yes,
Yeah.
see it.
a wine bottle to hold.
Oh, there you go. Improvised tripod.
Yeah, a wine bottle. So I run the wire through the wine bottle and wrap it around and curl it.
That's a long wire, isn't it?
It's 20 feet. It's 20 feet. So
Wow.
It's more than enough.
Well, that works
wine
pretty
bottle
good.
tripod
It looks
right
It
there.
really does. I'm impressed.
I might need one of those typewriter tables where the top, where you can set the feet there, but there's no actual table.
Mhm.
Oh,
And use that to put the camera up through the bottom.
there you go. Yeah, so you can do an understrike again.
Right.
Right.
That's an interesting idea.
All the things.
Yeah,
we
I have
learned from each
I have
other.
an action
question.
camera, and I'm trying to figure out the best way to attach the action camera to the typewriter. I'm not sure how close it would focus either. Probably not very close because it's
you
not like
talking
a
a
macro
GoPro
like
or-
what May has. What's that?
Is it a GoPro?
It's a cheapy one. It's a Dragon Touch.
Okay. Well, I mean,
Yeah.
try it because they do close focus. Well, they're
Okay.
focus free is what they call it.
Yeah,
But,
exactly. Yeah.
It will do automatic focus up pretty close.
Okay,
If it's
I'll
anything
try
like
that
the
then.
GoPros that I have.
Yeah, it should be. Yeah. Excellent.
How about
Has
using your-
has anybody gotten any new typewriters lately?
I did.
Let's see it.
May is
Okay.
always
showed
getting
it all.
typewriters.
I'm always like one or two every week. I mean, on average.
Wow,
Since
that's incredible.
I have 30 typewriters now since
I
August.
already showed mine, so
Are your typewriters strictly coming in, or are some going out as well?
all coming in.
Oh my goodness!
I'm not ready to give up typewriters yet. So I I've been curious about the Smith Corona Galaxies and the classic 12s, and so I found one that was relatively inexpensive, and it's one of my first typewriter person purchases, from someone who flips typewriters, for lack of a better term. And so it's perfectly clean, everything. I didn't have to do anything except open it up. She even put I think Jessica Winkowski, I think is her name.
Yeah,
she's really good. She put a blue and black ribbon in it, and I just love it. It's it's just a standard pica machine, but it works flawlessly. It's
nice.
It's kind of heavy, it's definitely not an ultra portable. But
that's toward the end of the Galaxy range, and man, they really didn't go down in quality at all since.
No,
I mean there's some plastic parts in there, but that's mostly for the the repeat spacer and stuff like that.
Yeah, for the little knobs and I did have to repair because there was a little bit of shipping damage. The knob had cracked, but super glue and a little epoxy. I filled in the gap with some epoxy and super glue, and it's good as new. It doesn't look as pretty, but it's good as new.
Is that the slide
really
forward
like
cover?
It should be, yeah.
Yes.
It is.
Oh, I love that.
I don't think it was till the 80s that they started putting on pop-on covers.
Oh, okay.
Somebody
because I have a classic 12 that has a pop-off cover, and it didn't come with one. It's the large print typewriter. Let's see if I can move some typewriters around. This one, my large 6-pitch typewriter, did not come with the cover, but I bought it anyway because it's a large pitch typewriter. But it's a pop-off cover, and
it's a pop-off.
It is a classic 12. Yes, and it's one of the newer ones that came in the plastic case, so it doesn't have the little notches to slide.
That might be pretty close to the
So
80s.
newer, so I believe it's late 70s. So yeah, you're right. So much later.
A nice font.
Go ahead.
I know, huh?
I want to find a cover, but I think I might try a Joe Van Cleve hack and see if I can make something to go over it, because I don't want to end up with another parts machine.
Because
if I buy a typewriter and it's not broken, I can't take it apart.
I was going to say, I did pick up a Smith Corona, I think it was a Galaxy or Classic, simply because it had the happy face, sad face changer type on it.
Oh my goodness.
And that
Are you serious?
And the machine itself was kind of a wreck.
I didn't know that's such a thing.
Okay, if you look at the two N keys on the top row of your Classic 12, the one you just had there.
Yeah, the change of type, yes.
Yes.
So you can get happy faces for those?
Very, very rare these days.
Yes.
The last one I saw being sold on eBay by itself went for about $75. But I got this whole typewriter for about $12 because it was being sold as a parts machine. So I'm more than willing to part that one out because I got the part that I wanted from it was a happy face, sad face. Then if you put the pi over degree on the other end, like I once had a sentence. This morning was miserable. It was only 7 degrees Celsius, sad face. But my wife made me very happy face, by making shepherd's pie.
There you go.
Using symbols before we had text messaging. Hey, regarding that typewriter, I've got that modification where I use fingers to hold onto the reel, so you don't need the cover. Anyways, if you're interested, I can talk you through that. Maybe
to hold the spools, you mean?
Yeah. And I just use the metal that you get off of the 2-hole punch bracket. What are those called? If you have a 2-hole punch, you put it in the top of a 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper to put it together. There's a metal
dual tang.
There's a clasp that you put in.
Oh,
yeah, okay.
Like these. Here we go.
And
right.
then
So
you
I just
snap it onto the. Yeah.
Paper fastener.
Fastener. Thank you.
Okay,
Right.
Paper fastener.
Yeah, Monk's got it. So I just use one of those, cut the 2 legs off, and then there are points on the frame there you can just screw it to, and then you just bend it over and it holds onto the reels for you. So I do it all the time with my naked typewriters. I should just shoot a video. Maybe I'll just shoot a video.
You should.
Shoot another video. That would be a great topic.
Yeah, will do. Thank you, May.
Thank you.
By the way,
Thank
Bob,
for our collective knowledge.
You recently posted YouTube videos about 2 typewriters you're selling, but where are you selling them?
Well, I'm going to leave them up on Instagram. I'm very fortunate on Instagram to kind of tap into the writer's market because I'm a writer and author. So a lot of people, we share different, mostly it's process, of course. We're all busy sharing process. Although some of us don't share our processes at all and how we author or how we write. But I love sharing with people. That typewriters are what I use for rough drafts or stream of consciousness type stuff. And it's great to go back and read it and before I, move it to the Google. So that's why I'm just leaving it up on Instagram for a few days, but then I'll put it up on eBay. I'm a big fan of eBay. They're not using PayPal anymore. That just happened a few days ago. That's very depressing, but we'll see how their eBay policy goes. PayPal is like third-party insurance, similar to a credit card, or maybe what a credit card used to be. I guess these days people use credit cards for buy now, pay later. I've always used credit cards, of course, as third-party insurance. That's why we, pay what we do for the interest. Anyway, so that'll be really neat to see. But I'll be putting them up on eBay. I only like to sell the smaller typers like that, of course. Some stuff.
Yeah, definitely.
If I cannot ship it, I'll just sell it off my front porch. I've got a typing desk on my front porch. And I've only moved maybe 2 machines that way standards, people actually coming to the door. There's no money in it. It's just nice to think that I've rebuilt this typewriter. It's awesome. I've got 3 of them. I really don't need this particular model. Let me find a way to sell it.
Exactly.
I can never get the, I bill $100 an hour at work for what I do. I certainly can't bill that repairing typewriters, but it's great. It's great release and it's great exercise and no different than, I like to view it no different than rebuilding a carburetor on a motorcycle. Only I don't need an engine and I don't need a road to test it. I just need a piece of paper. So
exactly.
Yeah. No, thanks for asking, Greg. Yeah, it's nice to think of moving them on, and I do my very best to tap into authors and writers, not necessarily typewriter people.
Yeah.
Hey, by the way, there are options. There are options to how you're doing what you're doing.
Yeah.
You're talking about rebuilding the carburetor on a motorcycle. I know that to do a 4-bank on a 73 Honda 750 literally takes a Sunday afternoon.
So that's what I specialize in, believe it or not, the 4-bankers. Yeah, the quad sets. Yeah.
They're beautiful, aren't they?
Yeah, no, I have a good time just getting them all right, getting everything set up. Obviously cleaning and all the little things. The big thing with those is that they're great side jets. I try to get, they're venture ports, but they love to get clogged. So I've gotten real good. I've had people ship them to me from all over the country, and it's great to buy. Those are nice. I can buy a set for $50, rebuild it, get it going, and sell it for $500. And it only took me 2 or 3 hours. So there's money in carburetors more than typewriters as far as that goes. 'Cause people think carburetors are magical, but I love them.
Carburetors are physics and science combined.
That's right. Well done.
And where I am here, I'm at 3,450 feet above sea level.
Pretty lean, yeah.
And I run a small engine repair shop, and people buy these machines because they're made at or very close to sea level. They run them for a few years, bring them into me. Of course, I tune them for the elevation, and they say, Bill, this chainsaw runs better than it did when it was new. Of course it does. It was tuned for the elevation.
Right. Right.
Motorcycles are the same. I bought
they really are. They really are. And here in the States, because most of our elevation is so high, I've got motorcycles that I only use to race cross country. So I'm at 750 feet. They don't run very good here. They certainly don't run very good in the neighboring mountains. But boy, going up and down that mountain, I'm doing just fine. I set everything up about 3,000 feet. I think it's 2,500. Anyways, I'll just run it a little lean. If the carb's a 152, I'll put a 140 in there, and it'll work out really well. I mean, it's not hard. and they don't idle very well. Any machine, because I'll be running a colder plug, so they're not going to idle for crap. Anyway. I'm going to probably carry a can of ether to start the darn thing, but it's very exciting to. Good for you. A lot of people don't know what we're talking about. This is William. Thanks for sharing that. Yeah, that's cool. Good for you.
But I say by trade, I'm a diesel mechanic, and of course we used to put the John Deere tractors on the dynamometers, and the a naturally aspirated 50 horsepower. They figure you lose. From sea level to 600 feet is no change, but from every 1,000 feet above 600 feet, you lose 3% of your power on a naturally aspirated diesel engine and 1% on a turbocharged.
Right.
So you get a 50 horsepower tractor, naturally aspirated, you're getting 45 horsepower out of it, and the customer says, it's short on power. Pull out the book, do the math, we're actually 5% overpower.
Well, there's that whole transfer thing too. I mean, at the end of the day, we might be getting, on a tractor, you'd be getting maybe 40% of the actual power that the engine's creating to the back wheel, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then heaven forbid you hook up a PTO.
And also the difference between a quad shift and a power shift tractor, you have to over tune the power shift tractor by 10% because you lose that much power in the transmission.
Oh, sure. That makes a lot of sense, right? As opposed to, I used to ride one of those. Wow, that makes a lot of sense. Well, that's why I really enjoy typewriters. They're a lot safer than motorcycles or maybe tractors, but everything's right here. When I do a set of carburetors, I suspect it works, but I have to hook it to an engine to test it, and it has to be a good engine. I can't have any burned valves or anything like that in there. So it's always give and take. And I bet you 60% of the time I rebuild a set of carbs, send it to the guy, and come to find out he's got a valve, something's leaking oil, and it's not the carburetors at all. So what do you do? So you gotta, but with typewriters, you don't have to do that.
This is true.
But you just have to keep the paper to test it. It's so nice. So I'm really enjoying that part of it.
Yeah.
Great analog machine. So
yeah. Well, maybe Greg can give me Bob's email or address. We can share some letters.
Let me put it up. Let me put it up on the chat for you, William. That'd be wonderful.
Let's see. Let me jump in the chat here.
Yep. Go right ahead.
Oh yes. John, so because John is asking, how can we exchange mailing addresses? I have the database put together, or the list put together. Is ready to go. It's going to go out in the first issue of our newsletter. I don't remember offhand if you're on the mailing list. I think you are, right,
yes.
John?
I did put it in, yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah. So you'll be getting everybody's address, and we'll be able to write to each other. So. And it's especially important for the people that aren't on Facebook, because on Facebook we have the Typewriter Pen Pals group. Actually, there's a couple Typewriter Pen Pals groups. I'm the admin for one of them, and but then I'm finding quite a few people are not on Facebook. So so I'm glad I set up the website typepals.com so that people can still get the information for our meetings here, and we'll get that newsletter going. I intended on sending it out yesterday, but I was waiting to hear back from Sean at YYC Typewriters, but he didn't get back to me. So I think I'm just going to go ahead and send it out, because he was wanting to get his address put on the mailing list exchange, I guess you would say.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
So boring Diane.
What's that?
No, you're not. I'm just tired.
Oh. Yeah.
Never boring.
So that the first newsletter, I'm hoping to get it out this evening. Yeah, I have some other stuff going on this afternoon, but I should get it out this evening. So yeah. So
I'm worried about. I'm worried about. Sorry.
Will the newsletter be typewritten?
No.
Oh.
He's going to type an individual copy for each of us.
Revolution.
It's like a typecast. You type it and then scan it, and that's the newsletter.
Yeah. But as far as like, people might want to copy and paste things, and I don't know. So it's not going to be typewritten. Plus, that would be an extra obstacle for me to like put it off even longer.
You have to have a scanner too.
Yeah, well, that's not a problem, but yeah.
Oh,
Joao, you were asking something?
Yeah, I was just gonna say I'm kind of worried about the mailing times, because I sent you a letter, Gregory.
I know.
Maybe December 27th, and you still haven't.
It takes like
arrived,
3 or 4 weeks.
Yeah, well, the medal that I won on eBay and was shipped from Portugal, it took over a month to get it. So, and I heard someone say, I don't remember where it was. Someone was saying that Portugal, especially the mail times are very, very slow.
Oh, really?
So yeah.
I also have a typewriter on its way to a girl in Ontario, and there's a Canada Post was saying that along with other countries, because COVID has got into the sorting centers, they've had to go from 3 shifts to 2 shifts.
Yep.
So 1 8-hour shift, 4 hours sanitation, next 8-hour shift, 4 hours cleanup, as opposed to being 3 8-hour shifts in a row. So that has really cut productivity in the mail sorting centers, and that's the reason I've been given for this typewriter, which originally said would arrive on January 22nd, still has not arrived at its destination. So that may be something to do with it.
Yeah.
So just think of it being a snail with a limp. Can't crawl as fast. No.
Yeah.
Snail with a limp.
Let's just be happy we still have a postal system.
I know. Yeah.
Yes.
Now I do know that you said that you scanned the letter, right?
I usually make a photocopy of every letter.
Oh,
keep it in an archive. Yeah.
That's a good
But
idea.
if it goes missing, I'll just scan it and send you.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, because basically what I could do is you could send me the scan, and then I'll print it out, and it's like I received the letter.
I say what I do is just make a PDF scan of every letter I type, then mail it, and then what I find that useful is when I get a reply letter, I can then open the previous PDFs to make sure I'm not repeating myself. And if the letter doesn't get there, I can always email the scan.
Yeah, I just prefer to read on paper, so that's why I do. I just put it on my printer, get a copy, and archive it.
Okay. Yeah. So I mean, if it comes down to it, you can scan it and send it to me,
sure.
and then I can still reply that way. So yeah.
Okay.
And then I would be curious if going the other way from here to there, I wonder if it would still experience a similar delay. That might be interesting to find out. But one way or another, we're going to exchange letters.
Send a PDF to each other, then print it out.
I know.
So you can read it on paper.
Without reading. Blind print.
Yeah. I'll even put it on fancy paper too.
Oh, that won't print.
That's true. Well, especially with my printer. My printer is horrible. It is very, very picky with the paper I use. The one good feature is it has these enormous ink tanks. So our the ink tanks that we've been using for over a year, and we do a fair amount of printing because my wife is a teacher. So yeah. So that way is good, but as far as handling paper, it's horrible. So that's when you just bust out the typewriter, and you can't type on everything with a typewriter, but you can sure try.
Yep.
You can type on more things than you can print on.
That's true. Like tinfoil.
I tried that. It does work. It is so cool.
It's
Can't
fun,
read it.
yeah.
Can't
Yeah,
read it.
I handmade a card for my wife, and I typed, I don't even remember what I typed. I typed something on the foil, and then I cut it out creatively and put it on the face of the card, and she got a good laugh out of that. She was like, "Are you typing on aluminum foil?" I was like, "Yes, I was."
Yes. Well, yes.
I suppose you could type on foil in stencil. You don't even need a ribbon.
Yep.
That's true. That's true. I think I did use the ribbon. I was hoping the ink would stick on there more than it did. It really pretty much didn't. And whatever ink was on there probably got rubbed off. So yeah. Well, let's see. We're at about 3.5 hours. Does anybody have anything else?
Yeah, William, I sent you a direct message with my email. Thank you.
Yeah, I got it.
With you, sir.
Bob at typewritermuse@gmail.com.
Thank you, sir.
Bob.typewritermuse. Is that right?
No, just Bob Typewriter Muse.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm putting together a website right now. It does come with a email. I just haven't figured it all out. I get frustrated. Okay. I wish I was technologically savvy as Monk or Greg, but I'll get there. Thanks.
Well, I'd be willing to help you with your website if you need it. So
you know what? That's a really good idea. Although we'd have to do it 6 feet apart. I guess we could.
Yeah.
You know what? Let me give you a call.
Do a Zoom
later, Gregory. That'd be great. I'd really appreciate that. Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Because in a former life I was a web designer. So
yeah, that's true. Well, I just picked something from HostGator and I'm building it on a free WordPress template. And I just, I think I got a few things figured out. I just need. It's a lot easier to publish a book, I think, than put up a website. But
it's super easy to put up a website.
All right, and I love May's camera on her typewriter. That's just wonderful.
Yes, this is going to be a thing now.
I'm so glad. At one point, other people were talking, and I was tempted to give you the full screen just so we could watch you typing.
Right. So next time I'll bust out a cursive typewriter or something more interesting.
Ooh, very nice. Yeah.
And I told May if she wants to get rid of that really big Megatype machine, I'd get it off. I'd
oh no. Those are my holy grail typewriters.
Nice try, Bob.
I sent her that message a few days ago. She did not respond. Yeah.
When I type my letter to myself 20 years from now, I'm going to need that typewriter.
I know. That's funny. That's funny.
Well done. Years ago, I used to work in a pizza shop, Domino's, and we had computers there. And there was a young girl, lady who came in, and she was with a convention of deaf and mute. So trying to take her order. So then all I did is I just went on the computer, opened up a chat window, and she came around the corner, and she typed 100 words a minute. Like it was just like the expression, the language, came all out. So it'd be interesting to see if you could actually just have the camera on your keyboard or on the paper, and that's the way you communicate with everybody else in the chat.
I know.
Like a typecast text chat, I guess.
Yeah.
There you
go. Yeah, texting back and forth on the typewriter.
Yeah. But it was really invented something. Yeah. It blew me away that all of a sudden she can communicate with anybody.
Right.
Just
you have the right
keyboard
pathway.
like that, yeah.
It's a good reason to have a typewriter at your at whatever retail shop you're at, so that somebody has a problem communicating, you can just stick it right in front of them, give them a sheet of paper, and say, communicate with me.
Or learn sign language.
Yeah, or that's hard, but
yeah. All right. Well, I think we're about ready to wrap up, unless anybody else has any last minute things they want to talk about or show.
Thank you, Gregory.
You're welcome.
Thanks, Greg.
Next week.
I'm looking forward to the newsletter and to share some
looking forward to that.
share some snail mail.
Very
Take care,
good,
everybody.
very
God
good.
bless.
And I'll do my
All right.
homework next time, Greg.
Yeah, me
All
too.
right, all right. You'll
Good
get
to
it past
see you
this week.
guys,
Okay.
always. See you on Facebook,
Bye.
you know.
Yeah.